Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you exclusively by the Reality Check Podcast Network.
Hey guys, Rad Rob here from the RadTurtlesWrestling podcast. Just want to tell you a little about Rodan and Fields. The skin is the largest organ in the human body. How do you take care of it? Does it ever hold you back? Pimples, sunspots, and wrinkles are just a few of the things that keep us from having the confidence to embrace our dreams. What if you had the confidence to go for that new job? Ask out that person you've had your eye on, or just help you like what you see in the mirror every day. Rodan and Fields is the #1 skincare line in the U.S. It was created by two Stanford-trained dermatologists, Dr. Rodan and Dr. Fields, who have created not one, but two multi-billion-dollar companies in skincare. This incredible product line is based on their patients' four most common skincare concerns: acne, sensitivity, skin discoloration, and aging. These products aren't like what you get at the drugstore. They provide amazing results and also offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. Even if the bottles are empty, if you are unhappy, you will get your money back. So what's holding you back? If it is your skin, then give Dina a call at 615-869-9314 and let her walk you through all Rodan and Fields has to offer, or visit the website at dinaf.myrnf.com. That's DEANAF.MYRANDF.com. For younger, clearer, smoother skin, there's only one answer, and that's Rodan and Fields. Welcome, everybody, to the Rad Turtles Wrestling Podcast. This is the review show of one of the most highly anticipated rivalries in the history of professional wrestling, AEW versus NXT. We're bringing it to you only as we can, RTW style. That means the most hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge coverage of the Wednesday Night War. And now, without further ado, here are your hosts, Rad Rob, Rob Francois, and Johnny Podcasting's John Wangman. Hey guys, welcome back to the Rad Turtles Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 4 of our Wednesday Night War show, AEW versus NXT. I am your host, Rad Rob Francois, along with Mr. No Days Off, Johnny Podcasting, Johnny Football. If you listen to our Tackling Reality show, he is the leader in our Pick 6 segment. It is the one and only Mr. Jonathan Wangman. Johnny boy, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing great. It's always great to chat with you, Rob. Always great to chat wrestling. I love Thursday nights. We tape our football show. I get my fix in with my buddies, get a chance to talk some shop, have a good time, kick back. It's a great night, man. Can't complain.
Let me ask you this question before we break down each show. Should we keep calling this a war at this point? Because it's been pretty underwhelming. No, yeah, really.
There's
you know
no
what
war,
I mean?
Man.
Like,
there's no war, man. I mean,
I feel bad now. Like we all hyped this shit up before it started, and really, neither show has delivered a knockout blow, really.
But we've been saying it from the start, though, man. This wasn't really going to be a war, man. They weren't going to pull in the ratings that either of them were going to do. And, I mean, everything is really coming true here. And, you know,
I mean, the Marks thought they would. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
the Marks thought the fucking AEW was just going to just storm the world, you know.
There wasn't going to be one right from the start. I mean, it was a good title and a good name to kind of throw out with for a show.
It sells. Yeah, everybody's doing it. Yeah.
It's a great show, man. You know, there's a lot of podcasts that name their stuff the Wednesday Night War now after it, or whatever they're using, you know, for it, or the, you know, Wrestling for Real Warcast things, whatever these people are calling them, you know, for the Wednesday nights and all that. Yeah. I'm like, it is what it is there, man. You know, I mean, it's a good way for people to get a title, but it's it hasn't been a war at all. And they're all dropping, every one of them, man. And everybody that was taking that first week of success there, as we said on the first week, it's great, man. They got 1.5 the first week. Where are they at now? We're looking at it. We'll talk about it tonight, but it's going down fast, man. And it's going to keep dropping even lower.
Yeah, you're exactly right, man. So yeah, let's not waste any more time then. Let's get into it.
Let's do tonight first. Let's do NXT first, though, tonight.
We can absolutely do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's flip them up. I want to do NXT first.
Okay, sure. Well, hey, there you go. Let's find out what John and I thought about this week's NXT on USA. Go for it, John. You seem to have a lot on your mind about it. So, overall impressions before we break it down?
I like the show for the most part. I mean, I think it's been kind of like where it's been at with some things, but I thought there was some really good things done on both shows this week. I like the step that NXT took at the end. That's why I want to talk about them first, because I think we get really hot on one topic, and I think AEW has some really hot stuff tonight too. So, I mean, it was very standardized to what we've seen them do. Literally, Miller came over last night to watch it with me, and I haven't seen Miller in a couple months. I've been so busy, and he has too. And he has not seen AEW yet, surprisingly. He's seen some clips. So he didn't know the format.
As big of a wrestling mark that he is, he hasn't watched AEW yet, huh?
Yeah, he's had a roommate that he's been helping out stay there. He hasn't had the TV, the time and stuff, and he doesn't have cable. So we usually would watch it together there. So this was the first time he's actually had a chance to sit down and watch the whole thing. So I told him right before for the show, for AEW, I'll just say, as I said, this is going to be the format of the show. They're going to have a really hot first match. I said the second match is going to be pretty good. They're going to pile in a bunch of matches. You'll have a women's match that's going to suck, and then they're going to have a hot main event, and they'll have a hot angle in there. And it's exactly what AEW did, and it's exactly what NXT did. It's the same format that they follow every week, but they did some really good stuff on both shows this week, and NXT had a really great angle that I liked to end the show. Very surprising, but good. No,
they really did, and I can't wait to get into that. But no, I'm in agreement with you. I thought this was a pretty solid show, all in all. And I don't think either show were that bad, really. But we give this woman a lot of shit on the show. It's Bianca Belair. She took on Rhea Ripley in the first match, and I'm not gonna lie. Actually, this was probably my favorite Bianca Belair match. I thought she held her own. I thought she did pretty well, and I don't know if the inclusion of Kairi Sane and what's her name, Gargano's wife there.
Io Shirai and Candice LeRae.
Yeah, Io Shirai and Candice. I don't know if they should have got involved in the match at all, but I thought this was a really solid match. It was a good way to put Ripley over. She did get the win, but I was actually impressed with Bianca Belair, given the fact that we've given her so much crap on this show for not being that great. I thought she had a really decent performance. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was a good match, to really open it up with. I didn't like the ending with them getting involved. I didn't foresee any need for that to happen. Rhea Ripley is on a whole different level.
They have heat with each other. Like Candice and
let them fight. Why are they coming out?
Right. What do they have to do with the match at all?
Io doesn't want Rhea Ripley or one of them getting a match, I guess, so it's
I think you're right about that. Yeah, you may be right about that. Okay.
Because they've been kind of teasing this 3-person thing between Belair and Ripley and Io. So I'm like, okay, and then Candice LeRae just showed up.
What does Candice LeRae have to do with all that? I
don't know. They had their little feud there a few months back, and it was over, and Candice got her match and stuff against Shayna on the first one. Had a good match. She just came out. I mean, it really shouldn't have come out to me. They shouldn't have ended it with that. But for Bianca, who pretty much stinks in the ring most of the time, I thought this was her best performance that I've seen her do. Rhea Ripley's on a whole other level, though, man. She's got the look, she's got the in-ring qualities and characteristics.
She's
good. Fantastic, man. I'll tell you, Matthew was right about her when he was talking about her a few months back on the show, and he pinpointed right with her. She's the future. She can play either role too. You can see I think she'd be a better heel. But for now, I think it's a good thing to go up against the heel Shayna with her.
Yeah, and I think if anybody, we say this every month, if anybody were to take the title from Shayna Baszler, I think it could be Ripley because she is that good. Now, I thought she was the best woman to come out of the UK. I didn't think Storm was the right choice out of the whole thing. I thought Ripley, the Mae Young Classic. I thought Ripley was a better wrestler, but. Yeah, this was a good match, a good way to start off the show, and it was against a really hot match on AEW. So if you want to go head to head, I think there's a market for each match depending on what your preferences are. But we've always said the NXT women are great, and this just proves how head and shoulders their division still is compared to AEW's women's division. There's just no contest. Next, we get a video recap of the attack on Velveteen Dream by the Undisputed Era. Pete Dunne then gets interviewed about his loss to Damian Priest last week, saying that he doesn't care about Killian Dane. And then they went to a commercial break. When we came back, I want to play this here. It was a really, really good video package for Tommaso Ciampa, covering his return to action after the horrible injury that he had, and having to give up Goldie, his best friend. So I want to play that for you now because it was really, really well done. And this is what we've been asking for, honestly, is just some character development. You know what I mean? Let people know if there's people tuning in that don't know who Tommaso Ciampa is, this is a great way to feature him. So here is the video package involving Tommaso Ciampa and his return from his injury.
The thing I loved most in this world was taken away from me long before I was ready for it to be taken away. Doubt, regret, what if? Lots of unanswered questions. Depression kicks in. You start to go down that rabbit hole. Is this it? New York City, WrestleMania weekend, walking in as the NXT champion. Did I just miss the biggest opportunity of my career? Then it hit me. That's on me to decide. It's my life. It's my legacy. And I'm just getting started. Adversity introduces a man to himself. The surgery was my test. What are you willing to sacrifice? What is your why? I know my why. Goldie! Daddy's home.
What a compelling guy. You know what I mean? Like, he knows his character in and out. Like, I think it's just an extension of himself in real life, which is usually what the best characters are. But, man, I know he's great as a heel, but God, he's so compelling as a face as well. Like, and he's kind of a tweener, I guess. I mean, you could kind of say he's a tweener, but man, people are just cheering him because he's back right now. But man, this guy's got it, man. Like, I don't ever want to see him leave NXT. Like, even with Gargano, like, I don't want to see these guys ever go anywhere because they're just this company or this organization is completely a perfect match for these guys based on their style and all that. And I don't think Vince McMahon would know what to do with either of those guys. But this video package was very well done, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
No, I agree, man. It was very good. Tommaso Ciampa is a funny thing because when they were doing DIY, they were fantastic as a tag team. And that heel turn was tremendous. But he was always that white meat babyface too, like Gargano was. Like, they were the underdogs out there with all their matches. And when he went heel, he got hurt right away, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did.
He got hurt right away, so they had to kind of prolong that. And he did a fantastic job with it. I think they're going to keep him as face there for a little bit there, as we'll talk about later in the show. But I think, he's a guy that can go either way, and he knows how to draw massive heel heat too. So either way, they're going to be in a good spot with a guy like that. I think he benefits from staying here long term, and I don't want to see these guys move up either. I don't think they need to, and I don't think they want to.
No, they don't. They don't want to. And I'm telling you, man, their program they had last year, was 3 of the best matches I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, just
I could watch them anytime.
Anytime, they really are. Like, I'll put them up against any other company in the world when it came to main event matches for those takeover matches they had. Just 3 unique endings to those matches. It's just very, very well done. So we get our next match here. Tyler Bate was in the crowd. We all know who he is. He was the very first NXT UK champion. So I'm wondering if he was here just for a one-off or if they're going to incorporate more UK stars. But he was in the crowd. And Matt Riddle comes out to the ring. God, I hate Matt Riddle's entrance. I don't understand his character. Like, I don't like the laid-back kind of surfer guy kind of thing. Like, that's, to me, I don't know. He just flips off his flip-flops in the ring. Like, his character fucking blows. But he can. I mean, he's a badass. He can go in the ring. I can't stand the whole bro thing. I don't know. What do you feel about his character? Does it do anything for you?
It gets agitating with the bro thing all the time. Lord knows we hear enough of bros from other people, in the past. So it's like, Jesus, man, I don't want to hear it anymore. And it's like that California surfer, like annoying sound, like stoner look. Like,
exactly. That's what
he's phenomenal in the ring, and he's legit badass there. I think the takeoff from this is how the crowd was reacting and the different moves that he was doing in this match was going with the Goldberg stuff. And
there's a meme going around with the jackhammer that they're calling him Broberg, I think.
And then he hit a jackhammer in this match. So, and then the crowd was chanting, Riddle, Riddle. Did you hear that during the match?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck, man? I was like, they're sitting on gold right here if they want to spark a rating for NXT. Like, they teased it on the special on the WWE, whatever it was, 24/7 confidential, whatever the hell they call it, that they did with Goldberg and the backstage blow up they had with one another. Like, you really want to spark a rating, man. Why don't you bring Bill Goldberg in? The guy still wants to come in and do some one-offs. Why don't you play it up in this a little bit, have some fun, man, and fucking get a rating. You want to beat NXT, or you want NXT to beat AEW in a week? There's a reason to get people that will come over and watch that show, man, to come see Goldberg on NXT. I'm just saying, man.
Do you think WWE is kind of just playing their cards tightly to their chests? Like, we know they can literally bring on anybody they want on that show just to pop a rating. I mean, do you think do you think Triple H wants to do that, or do you think Vince McMahon at one point will say, "We got to do something, pal"?
I think he'll eventually say it. He's got to do something there with that. It's. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's. They got to do it right now. But I'm saying you got to strike when the iron's hot on some things, and you got to make it compelling TV for the reason to not watch the other show. And either way, they're going to get paid, man. So they're going to make their money. USA, I guarantee, is making better ratings for having NXT on than it is the other way for them not being on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
So they're not going to get canceled off of USA for having the ratings they're getting. But you really want to pop a rating, though? I mean, that's a great way to do it. They need to keep teasing something like this. I guarantee you, Goldberg would come in and do it too. So
he would. I guarantee he would.
I don't think they're at that point though yet. I think it's something they need to kind of tease for a little bit.
Yeah. But this match was really good. It was a long match, but I mean, it was a really good match. I didn't know a lot about Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, who is he on the indie scene?
I don't know. I've seen him a few times on NXT, and I think he's good, but like, he really shined in this match. Like, he had a lot of offense on Riddle, and he kicked out of some really tough stuff, like a short knee, like a flying knee into the GTS, into a bridging German suplex, and he kicked out. I'm like, that combination right there alone would have killed somebody fucking 10 years ago. But given the state of the wrestling world right now, where that's just a fucking a transition spot. He
was Impact wrestler Trevor Lee.
Okay, all right, that's where I know him. Okay.
He was an X Division champion, I think, over there or something.
Gotcha, I gotcha. So he's good. Like, and I thought he was. I thought he was really good in this match too. So Riddle did get the win in the end, but I enjoyed it, man. I was actually more into this match than it was the other match that was going on at this time with Kenny fucking Omega. That actually put me to sleep for a little bit. But I enjoyed this match. So good win for Matt Riddle. And again, where's he go from here? The main title picture is convoluted. I guess he can maybe start a program, for the North American title coming up here again. I know he's already had a shot at Dream at that, at one point. But they got to do something with him, man, because he's over. He's completely over. I know we don't like his character, but obviously people dig him, and I see nothing but big future for him. I don't know if they call him up at some point, maybe around Rumble time or WrestleMania time next year, but I don't see him staying in NXT too very much longer.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to feature all these guys and put them in prominent roles, so you eventually will have to kind of move some of them up there.
Yeah, and I think he's leading the pack. Him and Dream right now would be the ones to go up there. I think Vince would probably have fun with Dream because he's that over the top kind of character that Vince likes. But Riddle, See, yeah, he could get lost in the shuffle there. You'd have no choice, but they'd probably hot shot an angle with him and fucking Lesnar right off the bat, and then not do shit with him for the rest of the fucking time he's up there.
He's gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way on the main roster, man. When he gets,
he already does. Like he's a fucking heat magnet on Twitter.
Yeah, he's gonna rub some people the wrong way right there, and man, that's gonna be I don't know. He's not a personality that gets along with authority for very long, and people like that go back to his history in the UFC and his comments afterwards. Not that he's a bad guy or he wasn't kind of wronged in some ways, but yeah, I don't know how well that'll work out for him, man. It's going to be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, you're right about that. So after the match, Riddle went over to try to fist bump Cameron Grimes, just a good match, and got rejected. And then Matt went over to Tyler Bate and fist bumped him instead. And then Cameron got pissed off and shoved Tyler, and he came back and Tyler knocked him out with one punch after that. So not sure if they're going to move into a program here or what. I mean, they just it's weird. They just have these appearances every now and then of people in the crowd that don't necessarily do anything going forward. But if Tyler Bate is indeed going to be on the main NXT roster, then that's a good thing for me. I don't know if they'd stick him in the cruiserweight division. That's something they like to do with smaller guys like that. But I'm a big Tyler Bate fan. I think he's got a good future. So we'll see where he moves with them going forward.
Yep.
We got a recap of Breezango versus the Forgotten Sons, in which the Sons had won. Before it's announced that the Forgotten Sons will take on Breezango again with a mystery opponent. And then we get to a promo from Dominic Dijakovic as we go to commercial. Obviously, he's going to be in the triple threat match later on this night for the North American Championship. William Regal announced a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship #1 contender match with the winners facing the champions, the Kabuki Warriors, when they return to Full Sail next week. Do you like the inclusion of the Women's Tag Team titles on NXT?
No. I thought we were doing brand exclusivity, man. I mean, come on.
But that's the thing. Did anybody draft the Kabuki Warriors? I don't know.
They went to Raw.
Did they go to Raw? Okay.
Yeah,
but NXT wasn't part of the draft, so technically, I guess
why are the WWE titles coming down for Raw or the women's WWE titles coming down to NXT?
It's the women's tag team titles, which means the titles themselves are not tied to a show. There's no Raw tag team women's tag team champions or SmackDown women's tag team champions. It can be defended on either show, which is why, to me, they shouldn't have been included in the fucking draft. Because
just get rid of this fucking stupid belt, man. It's terrible. Just get rid of this shit, man. Come on.
So
give them women's IC title or something if you're going to do something, man. Get rid of this shit. It's terrible.
If they're in a war with AEW and AEW are going to have women's tag team champions at some point, then that's kind of why they want to feature them on the show.
What do we need? Jamie Hayter and fucking
Jamie Hayter
and Sakura as a tag team champions over there next. I'm like, come on, man.
You texted me Jamie Hayter. I'm like, yeah, I know.
You couldn't come up with a better name. I will get to her later, but I'm just like, shit. Women's tag title shit, and I love women and women's inclusion and women's rights. I'm not a misogynist. I'm not sexist. I'm not any of those things. I'm all about it. I'm a Democrat. I'm a very liberal guy. This belt needs to go the fuck away. Nobody cares.
We can agree to disagree because I'm not throwing it out the window yet. I'm still a fan of women's tag teams because I'm a big women's tag team fan back in the day, from the Jumping Bomb Angels all the way back in the day. So. Yeah, way back, yeah. So that's just me. I'm old school. You know that.
I mean, I like wrestling and tag team wrestling, but do we really need a belt for it?
I mean, the guys have one. It's only fair.
Yeah, but these aren't like real tag teams that stay together long in the women's division.
I don't fucking know, man. What are
we gonna have? Natty Neidhart putting out a tag team next? I mean, we also if you watch Total Divas, the funniest thing was she tried to fucking parlay herself into that first match this year to get in the women's tag title match and Elimination Chamber, and they shot her ass down. Yeah, they said no. I'm just gonna say that. Yes, I watched Total Divas this last week and caught the old episodes, and that was funny. So
moving on to our next match before getting in any more trouble with the women's fucking movement here. I know what you're saying.
they can contact me. It's at JFF Feeney the Third, and you can let me know right there.
There you go. So. Breezango and Isaiah Scott taking on the Forgotten Sons. Next match, Angel Garza. This match sucked. I like Breezango, don't get me wrong, but I don't like the Isaiah Scott guy, and I think the Forgotten Sons are just the fucking Sons of Anarchy ripoff. I don't think they're big guys. But
they don't do anything with them consistently.
Yeah, what have they done? Yeah, exactly.
And then they just lost to fucking Breezango and the 200-pound, if he's soaking wet, fucking Shane Strickland.
Yeah. So not a great match at all.
No.
But so after the match, we got a promo by the North American champion Roderick Strong talking about his defense later on tonight. The NXT Cruiserweight champion Lio Rush comes out to the ring and goes to the announce table for commentary on the next match. Dude, this guy wins the title, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
it hasn't been in the match since.
No angle, no nothing.
They're literally booking the show the way AEW books the show. They have to counter program it and do exactly the same formula the other guys are doing. To me, I've said this before, when it was a 1 hour show, it was a much better show. Since they've gone to 2 hours, you think that they do a good job of maybe producing some vignettes or giving some more character development, but no, they're just not. They're not consistent with their booking, and there's so many guys that they're not using right now. It blows my mind. I don't get it, dude. What programs do we have other than the Undisputed Era attacked Velveteen Dream? Okay, so he's out for a couple of weeks. Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic have been in the program. Okay, nobody gives a fuck, honestly. Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley had their thing going on. There's nothing that's wow. I can't wait.
We haven't even seen Shayna wrestle since the first week.
Right. But we see her two little friends come down the ring this week.
The two dancing monkeys over there, man. Come on.
Johnny Gargano wasn't used up until. At the end of the show is good. We will get to that, but other than that, there's nothing grabbing your attention. Wow, I can't wait to see that next week.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So
that's the negative to it.
Yeah, exactly. So Lio Rush comes down the ring to join the announce team before the next match. Before that match starts, we get a promo by Killian Dane standing over fire, saying that he's going to break Pete Dunne after Pete tried to break his fingers. I could give less of a fuck about that, honestly.
When did this happen?
Was it last week? Week before? I don't fucking know. I don't know.
That's how forgettable it is.
Yeah, maybe it was something that happened overseas. I don't know.
Do you know there's a Hanson documentary out right now?
I did not know that.
I just saw it. I just had to throw that in there before.
Are you previewing Amazon Prime right now while we're doing our recap, or?
No, my Roku's just flashing over with all these different things, and then I just saw sorry, I just had to say it, a Hanson documentary.
Okay.
So
good.
I'm why would anybody want to watch that? Sorry.
Maybe their parents want to see it. I don't know.
Bob, let's move on.
Angel Garza against Jack Gallagher with Lio Rush on commentary. Look, this is a good match. I've been a Jack Gallagher fan for a while. I know people think he's goofy with the umbrella and all the shit he used to do in the past, but the guy can go in the ring, and he's not a big guy, but that's why he's in the Cruiserweight division. And I didn't really consider Angel a Cruiserweight, but I don't know. I guess he is. Who knows? Buddy Murphy was a Cruiserweight, and he's 230 pounds, so... sorry, the 205 guy, whatever you want to fucking call him. This match was good. It was fun. There's a lot of offense, a lot of back and forth. It served its purpose. Angel Garza did get the win, so I'm assuming we're going to see him maybe moving forward, challenging for the Cruiserweight title with Lio Rush. But yeah, it's a fun match. I can't say anything bad about it.
Yeah, Jack Keller, I didn't even know he still worked there anymore.
Yeah, he hasn't really been featured.
If there's anybody that needs to hop in a suntan bed very slowly more than I do or Sheamus, it's Jack Gallagher, man.
Oh yeah, I call him Sheamus Jr. for sure. Yeah.
I don't. He doesn't do anything for me, man. It's goofy, it's funny, sometimes whatever. It wore its welcome out, pretty quick, and he hasn't been used really at all from what I've seen. Does Brian Kendrick still work there too?
He does. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Why isn't Kendrick coming down and doing stuff?
I don't know. He's a vet, man. He should be.
I know. I mean, I'd much rather see Kendrick out there doing it than Jack Gallagher and Hector Garza Jr. or Angel Garza, whatever his name is.
Right. That's fair. That's fair enough. No, you're right. Brian Kendrick is. I never was a big fan of his character, but man, he can wrestle. He can go, and he knows the business. He's a trainer. I mean, he's a good kid.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got a great, you got the other great players that they have out there, such as Akira Tozawa and Humberto Carrillo on Raw. So it sells big numbers. Is to have these 205 guys up there, man.
Both of those guys got drafted. Can you believe that?
I know. Yeah. And Drew Gulak got drafted. He loses to Leo Rush and then gets drafted the next week and gets jobbed to Braun Strowman in about 10 seconds. So
he was funny doing it, though. I have to give him that.
He was. I will give that too there. But these guys, I mean, they put on a good match. It just does nothing for me.
Okay, that's fair. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship #1 contender match: Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai taking on Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, both of the other 4 horsewomen. Like apparently, there's 2 groups of 4 horsewomen with Shayna Baszler. So, look, Tegan Nox is goddamn, she's hot. Like, and Dakota is not that bad looking either. She's got a different look, but Tegan Nox, man, you can say what you say about her in the ring. She's pretty to look at. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna throw that right out there.
I think Dakota's better than Tegan.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, but I like that kind of wild emo-y look.
Yeah, you do. No, you do. I can see that. I understand that.
I do. But the other one's beautiful too. Now, when we want to talk about not beautiful, it's that fucking tag team that was across from them, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, or Shafir, or whatever the hell. These two fucking suck, man. Oh,
They're
my
not good.
God.
They're not good.
Bianca Belair versus Riho, or Bianca Belair versus Nyla Rose in Riho would be a Dave Meltzer 5-star classic compared to ever watching these two in anything. So for anybody, when we knock AEW, all right, for their women's division, they have a great division in NXT. They have a great women's division in NXT for sure. But man, you put these 2 clucks on there, you want to talk about talentless hacks in the ring. It's these 2 chicks, man. They should never be in a ring. Riho versus Nyla Rose versus Bianca Belair would be a mat classic compared to what these 2 can do. They elicit no response from anybody. None. They're terrible. Yeah. They are fucking dreadful. And the only reason they got a job is because they're Ronda Rousey's friends. And everybody knows it. And if they don't know it and quit wrestling and move on with their lives, then I'm sorry for them.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. You're Johnny Podcasting, man, bringing the fucking thunder on that one. Holy shit.
That's fun to talk about NXT. It fucking drives me crazy.
Yeah, you really popped me on that one. So, no, but you're right. Like, to be associated with Shayna Baszler is like, come on, dude. Seriously, like, by proxy, you think they'd be great, right? Because Shayna Baszler is fantastic and she's phenomenal. But man, you want to talk about like doing yourself a favor? Like, here's my 2 friends. Just let them have a match or whatever. Like, it'll be cool.
Give them a job, please. Pay them $25,000 a year. That it'll be better for them than working at McDonald's because that's about what they're probably qualified to do. The one lives on Rhonda's farm with her.
No, I did not know that. No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's like how close they all are. Like,
you really are watching Total Divas this year, aren't you?
I got darn right I watched that. It's more entertaining than some of this shit half the time. It tells more stories and drama on there. Nyla Rose is on there, for Christ's sakes. She's drama all day.
You mean Nia Jax?
Nia Jax, yeah. Sorry, Nyla Rose.
Like if Nyla Rose is on there, then
Nyla Rose. We haven't seen her do the avalanche drop on somebody since the first week of AEW. Maybe they smartened up enough to get rid of her ass and send her going somewhere.
Maybe so, but no, dude. Yeah.
My God,
these 2 chicks aren't good. They're really not good. They couldn't draw flies, if they had a fucking bag of shit in their hand. Like,
they should be wrestling in the fucking bingo hall in Arkansas with the indie wrestling crowd over in some back alley bingo hall for 25 people in Arkansas, that some people wrestled at back in the day. Man, they shouldn't even be there. I don't think they're qualified enough.
Should. And you know what? Honestly, as bad as they are, they still draw more than a former Arkansas tag team we had on this network. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But
I don't deny that.
This match, yeah, it sucked. I mean, Knox and Kai got the win, so I mean that's at least the bright side moving forward. That they didn't put Shafir and Duke over just because they're associated with Baszler, so they made the right call there. So I don't know if next week will be the Pirate Hookers taking on Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai for the women's tag team titles. So I mean, say what you want about it, John. That should be a good match.
It will be a good match. I agree. I'm not saying it won't be. It's just more their nonsensical booking. It's not going to draw anything out there. It's not going to bring people over that's going to want to watch it because of it. Asuka was not a draw on the main roster. Kairi Sane was never a fucking draw. And they're trying to do this heel gimmick with them, and nobody in their brother and sister and their cousin thinks these two are going to win. And
this is a way to get Asuka back on NXT, which we wanted to happen, but then obviously she got drafted to Raw, so we're like, well, there goes that. But so yeah, no, we still get what we wanted, at least for one match. So next match is for the NXT North American Championship, a triple threat match. The NXT North American Champion Roderick Strong taking on Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. I wasn't going to rely on you to say that one.
No, it ain't going to
happen. Look, I had high expectations for this match, but really, this is the weakest match on the card for me. I did not have fun watching this at all. Roddy did defend his title, but nah, man. I like Keith and Dijakovic, what they've done the last few weeks in their feud, but nah, this I don't know what it was. Nothing resonated with me about this match. I'm not saying it was bad. I had no emotional attachment to any of these guys, and I'm a big Roddy fan, and we've put Strong over on the show many a time, but I didn't think it was that good of a match. I don't know. Maybe you feel differently.
Nah, I agree with you, man. It was just a flat match. They had no chemistry to it. It wasn't bad in any way, but it just was one of these ones that was concocted at the last minute to get something out of it. Because they were going to do the dream angle with Roddy, and that didn't end up going down. He must have gotten hurt in real life, I think.
I'm assuming, he's hurt for real. So
yeah, I haven't heard any reports on it, but I'm pretty sure he got hurt because they definitely would have rather have gone with Dream and Roddy, and they burned the house down every time they're in there. So, I mean. Lee and Dijakovic, did I say it right?
You got it right, buddy. Good job.
I did. Dijakovic. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Lee and Dijakovic. Like I said 3 times in a row. That's amazing. Yep. That'll never happen again.
Never happen again.
They had okay chemistry together, okay matches. I wasn't totally invested in it.
I know
and I wasn't in this one. They have a lot to prove. That's why they're in developmental, though. And I know this is the argument: is it developmental or not? It is a third brand. I think that we all look at it now, but they're one-trick ponies in their own ways right now. I mean, I think Keith Lee's being booked way wrong, in my opinion. Like. He's a big, gargantuan-looking dude, man.
Yeah,
he is a beast, He's not the six-pack abs. He's not that, but he's big, strong, and imposing looking. This guy could be a monster heel if booked correctly. He's not going to resonate as a face to people. He's not going to pull those big things in. But you put this guy as a big, strong, dastardly fucking heel, man, as the badass-looking dude. He's got the moniker for it. Dominic doesn't. I don't know what it is about him. There's nothing that does it about me. Even the vignette earlier in the night, he just doesn't have that it factor.
No,
Roddy's a tremendous talent in the ring, but Roddy lacks a lot of charisma a lot of times outside of it. He's a great worker, I love Roddy.
I can't argue with that. No, I cannot argue with that. You're right.
He doesn't have the it factor like Adam Cole does. And Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly don't have it either. And they just don't. Fish and O'Reilly just don't have that it factor to me, man. I mean, they don't really have that look. They're very undersized. I mean, the one guy comes out playing the fucking belt, like an air guitar, and I'm like, okay. Like Adam Cole's, even as unimposing as I've always said with his stature, Adam Cole's got the it factor, man. About the Undisputed.
Despite his size, he has a ton of charisma, and he's super over. Yeah.
Yes, man, he's super over, and I know
he's over the heel. Like people love him, like no matter what character he plays. So
yeah, and I know I'm just kind of analyzing this in the characters that are out there. It's because they just haven't established those 3, and I think it resonated. It was a good match. It just didn't have any investment for fans to really want to watch it. and be invested in that match for whatever reason. And it was a hard counter, man, because nobody knows or is invested in Dominic or Keith Lee, you know, and Roddy's still a developing thing. Roddy's been with them a long time now, man. And, you know, Roddy's never going to be a main event player. He's best to stick down at NXT down there and do that role. And he could be a great face again. I didn't think the heel move would be great for him, but it was wonderful. You know, they've done really good with it. He's done very good with it, but it's not the main event match, man, to counter what AEW put on with Pac and Jon Moxley.
Oh,
and
God,
we'll
no, not even close.
No, that's the nonsensical thing. You know what they're putting on as the main event, and you know what you need to be able to draw people around it. They give it to you the week before, man, even before they announce it on theirs. It's great to announce things. This wasn't going to draw people in over that one. Pac, people know him mainly. People definitely know Moxley. You know, they're putting, you know, A and B list guys that are out there on AEW out in their main event every week. And then you got, you know, NXT putting guys that are just learning the ropes, man. And it's not knocking their match. I know I'm going long-winded on it, but it explains what you feel, because it just doesn't resonate, and it just didn't hit on this match for whatever reason to me. And I watched it late at night, and I was very alert when I watched it. Yeah. I thought you were going to love it at first. I was like, I'm going to have to defend myself on this one. And I was just like, it's flat, man.
No, it was flat. There's nothing I could do to defend anything in this match. What does sell and what does resonate is what happened after the match. And we are going to play the audio from that right now.
The gift that keeps on giving. NXT live on USA. Here is the extraordinary man, Finn Balor.
The longest reigning NXT champion of all time.
You talk about major what in this cottage. The star power in the ring. Second to none as Balor has joined Gargano and Ciampa. In the standoff.
Those odds are much better.
Still 4 against 3. What the hell?
Oh my
what
God!
the hell?
No!
Oh my God! Undisputed era mauling Tommaso Ciampa. But what the hell has gotten into Finn Balor? You talk about shocking the system. Tommaso Ciampa being destroyed as Finn Balor admires his handiwork after kicking Johnny Gargano. Balor told us his future is his past.
Look at the eyes of Finn Balor.
And he wants to make Johnny Gargano someone of NXT's past. Oh my God.
Why?
Oh my God, what's Finn Balor doing here to Johnny Gargano? No, Finn! No! Oh my God! Spiking Gargano's head on the ramp! This isn't the homecoming any of us expected from Finn Balor!
I did not see this coming out of. It came out of nowhere for me. Like I was like, okay, finally. I mean, honestly, if you look at Balor's promo last week, it was kind of weird. It's kind of like Aleister Blackish. It was a little cryptic. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of a different. It was a different promo that Balor, usually gives. Usually he's all happy and cheery and all that, and it was kind of a weird, cryptic kind of message. Well, this is why. So, we'll probably get a better explanation next week, but we get to see Finn Balor as a heel, and I think, holy shit, like that's not something we're used to. And I think he's gonna do a fantastic job. I got tired of his fucking character, like from the main roster,
just smiling out there like
Fonzie. Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, I couldn't fucking stand it. I'm really looking forward to what they do here with Finn.
Finn's been a heel most of his career.
See, I didn't follow him anywhere else. So
yeah, Finn Balor when he was Fergal Devitt, out there in Canada, Prince Devitt. I think they went by eventually. Because that's his real name, Fergal Devitt in real life. So he went by Prince Devitt out there. He was the heel leader of the Bullet Club.
Okay.
So,
he's
been a heel most of his stuff, man, and he's a tremendous heel over in Japan. Probably the highest point of the Bullet Club was when he was the leader of it, arguably to even AJ or Adam Cole being in it or whatever it may have been. But he was a tremendous heel. People are in store for some good stuff with him as a heel. I've wanted to see it, but I never saw it coming, man. I thought it was a great look on it. And I stayed off social media last night because I always do on Wednesdays because I try to catch them back to back, and I always watch AEW first, just because I like it better live. And it's man, what a great move! What about that kick he laid on Gargano, man? That was cool.
Fucking sick, man. It really was. Everything he did was pretty rough.
God, man, I watched it
including a brainbuster on the ramp. That was. I don't know how he took care of on that one.
They are going to tear it down. You know what the weird part about it was to me, Rob?
What's that?
It was the Bullet Club where he did the Bullet Club guns thing, like the symbol that they would always do. I don't think they were insinuating that he was like joining the Undisputed Era, which I don't think he is. Like they were like kind of saying it. I think he's going to form his own faction of some sorts down there, man.
He could. Yeah, no, he could. I can't wait. Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano, are you kidding me? Like that's a fucking dream match. Like really, like old school, like you said, like pre-main roster Finn Balor. Even when he was a face on NXT, he was fucking phenomenal. And this because we thought that the NXT title picture was a little convoluted. Like the waters were a little muddy because Finn came back and then Ciampa came back and they both won the title, but now we see kind of a clearer picture. It'll probably most likely be Cole and Ciampa moving forward. And now Gargano and Balor. So that gives us a little bit of clarity moving forward as to where they're going to go. But I'm all in for both those fucking matches. Like, you want to talk about main events anywhere in the world? Holy shit, dude. Cole and fucking Ciampa? Are you kidding me, too? Like, that's what I'm most forward looking to, man.
They're going to hold that off till TakeOver for those matches, I hope.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do that for Survivor Series there. You know what's going to be intriguing is if they did another, and I know some people are big on factions, some aren't, and you already have one heel faction over there with the Undisputed Era, but they're kind of tweeners to me too. I mean, they do the heel qualities, but
they are.
Like you used a great analogy with tweeners earlier, but they're a heel, gimmick. Dude, Balor, man, you want to talk about elevating some of these younger guys that are, the mid-grade talent over in NXT or guys that you really want to get over to a different level. I mean, look at a guy like that was in there earlier in the night, like a Cameron Grimes, man, that came over there that had a decent little run over there on Impact as an X Division champ, came over here. He's got a good match, tonight with Matt Riddle. You got guys that are sitting over there that aren't doing anything. And you know what? There's a lot of women that aren't doing anything too. So you really want to start creating new challengers to it. Give this guy a small little faction of some young up-and-comers that are pissed off they're not getting a break. And
have an enforcer like Pete Dunne or somebody like that.
Yeah, or, once again, I go back to a guy like a Keith Lee.
Yeah, no, true.
Think about Keith Lee kind of being the muscle for a guy like Finn Balor, man, kind of being that bodyguard style. I'm not telling you, I was thinking about it last night because I love wrestling, and we want to run some indie shows here in the next couple of years. We've talked about doing some different things with some connections that we have, and my crazy things when I book angles and stuff and put it out.
Right. Yep.
Remember, one night I called you, we were talking about some stuff we were interested in maybe doing or whatever when we get one going here eventually. And I was like, that's what I was thinking about. The possibilities for this are endless for this guy. And
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And dude, yeah, if you and I got together and created some some creative genius right there, like
I could just like see with NXT is just ready to burst out at the seams of some of the talent that's down there, these guys, and what they could do. And whoever pinpointed this angle, and I hate to talk so much all the time on the show, I just love these shows because they're fun to me to watch. And, it's like I see so many different things. There's so much potential down there of people that they could really get. And whoever thought about that angle to turn him heel, man, smart move for them. I would assume it's Triple H, actually. I'm going to give him as Triple H or Terry Taylor that probably figured that one out.
Or Finn maybe himself said, you know what, I want to come back as a heel. Yeah.
Smart idea. He can always be a face again. That's always easy to do. He's a likable guy. You got the Demon.
Yep.
Man, I'm excited to see where it goes and the match him and Johnny are going to have. They're going to tear it down.
That's really going to make the Demon mean something again. Like, you want to talk about not fucking losing with that guy. Like,
well, do you think he could ever pull the Demon out as a heel for him?
I don't know. I mean, why not? I mean, you don't think so?
They could, of course, but it just doesn't make sense because the Demon's kind of like the alter ego of him when he needs to dig down deep and to not be fearing something, or he needs to
true.
Badass. The heel that just doesn't play into it. So I think it pulls the Demon out for a while, which I think they kind of want because there's a lot of things you can still do it in the future. You don't want to overuse it in many ways. That's why.
No, that makes sense. And the fans want it so much. If he's a fucking dick and even says it, like, you know what, you guys are never going to see the Demon, so kiss my ass. Like, that would really piss people off. Like,
and you have this young stable he could create there with him of these young up and coming badass guys, and girls that he could get in there, whoever it might be. And then one day they turn on him, man, and he needs to call in the reinforcements to take these young bucks up that he's taking to the next level. I'm just looking way far ahead, and it's just not even anything. I'm sure it's in their mind, but like, there's possibilities to this are endless for what they can do. It was a very smart move to bring him back to NXT, and it was a very smart move. That's why I wanted to cover them first, because it was very compelling decision that they made, and a very good decision.
And you know what? I missed it. Like, the match was over. I turned the TV off and went to bed, and I saw it the next day on YouTube. I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't realize they're going to go that far over. Did you notice they're going over on purpose? Like, they have a definite overrun. Yeah, and TNT will not allow the overrun. So that's kind of dirty pool a little bit, but, it seems to be working.
There's a reasoning for it because it draws them extra viewership in when they do that.
Yeah.
So
true, but
when they go over that run there, they get more viewership added in. So I'm telling you, it's a tactic that they use to.
And if people get used to it, more people are going to be tuning into the end of that show to see what's going to happen.
Very true.
Yeah.
AEW always ends their shows 5 minutes early. That runs into some crazy gimmick to end the show.
Yeah.
The main event always ends 5 minutes early, the match. This week it did not. It was about 3 minutes before. It was right to the end there.
Wait till we get into that. I got a rant about that whole thing. Not something I don't think you know which side I'm going to take on that one, but it'll be good. So yeah, good, bad, and ugly for NXT and USA.
All right, I'm gonna say the good was the Finn Balor heel turn, man.
Finn Balor, yeah, Finn Balor.
Sure. Finn Balor. See, I always mess up names, people. They're not joking when I say that. I used to make fun of my dad for it all the time, but now it's starting to happen to me. But I have at least excuse. I've had like 9 concussions and brain damage in there.
True,
so,
sure.
My career took a toll on my head, so we can forget about that. I'll be sipping through a straw in 10 years when I'm 48. So it's all right. But Finn Balor most definitely was the good. The bad was Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. It was just bad, and the ugly was Marina's chauffeur, Jessamine Duke. Fire these two chicks, man. They're the bad, they're the ugly. I mean, there was some adequate moments that weren't that great in there. These two, man, they got to go. I'm sorry. I'm not wishing anybody get fired and jobless. Send these chicks down to Rocky Mountain Pro, man, or something to go learn from them down there with, wherever. Send them out there to go back on the indie scene for a while and get some seasoning. They make Eva Marie look like a match general too. They
that's
are
when I thought
bad.
you couldn't go any lower.
I know, man. God, they are bad. They are ugly in every sense of the word out there. Never fucking put them on ever again. It makes them look low rent, especially when their women's division is leap years above AEW. But you wouldn't have noticed that tonight when you saw them.
Nope, I absolutely agree, man. So, for me, the good, I will 100% agree with Finn Balor and moving into that feud with Johnny. That's gonna be fucking fantastic. I can't wait to see that. The bad, for me, I was going to go with the Breezango match. It was just a fucking throwaway match. It didn't do anything for me. But the bad, I'm actually going to go with underutilizing guys like Leo Rush. Like, he should be featured in a match every week, at least, or every other week. Like, he won the title and hasn't had a match since. So I'm going to go with the bad being their underutilization of the talented guys that they actually have and throwing other people in there that don't belong in the ring. Like the ugly, Shafir and Duke. They are absolutely not ugly, facial wise. Even though you might have a different opinion on that one, but just ugly all around because of, like you outlined so eloquently, they're just not good. They're not good in the ring. So yeah, man. So overall impressions, I really, really enjoyed this show. I thought it was, and I don't know, maybe I'm overvaluing it because of the end, and how hot that was. But I think this is since the first week, which I thought was their best show. I think this has been the best show since then. So I enjoyed it either way.
All right, I'm with you.
All right, that's what we thought about NXT. So let's close out the show with what John and I thought about this week's AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite coming off hot, man, with the fucking tournament semifinal match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Private Party, which we're kind of likening to the Street Profits. They got a funny introduction too. Like, they weigh some, I don't know how many ounces of fucking like cognac or something like that. Like, it's kind of a funny little thing as part of their gimmick. I forgot exactly what the verbiage was, but we got the Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn taking on the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix. Dude, as good as the Belair and Ripley match was to start off NXT, this match was a perfect way to start off this show. I was invested from the minute the bell rang. These fucking tag teams, man, they're two of the best in the world. And there was so many spots. I can't even fucking talk about all of them. Like, there's so many different unique and exciting high spots that I've never even seen before. And I thoroughly enjoyed this match. Eventually, Lucha Brothers did get the win. But it was not a bad showing for the Private Party at all. They took it to the Lucha Bros probably more than anybody else has so far and came really, really close from winning the match. But they did put the Lucha Brothers over. Dude, I can't say enough good things about the start to this show. It was really, really good.
Fucking tremendous, man. I love Private Party. Some people just do the whole thing. They were talking about it and some things, and I respect people's opinions on everything. It's my flavor might be different than yours, but they say they look too scripted and on certain things. And I can see that. Same with the Bucks, but Private Party, man, these guys can go. Like, seriously. These guys are stars. Both of them are fantastic, man. I love them as a tag team. When Private Party's on, I would watch them over just about anybody, to be honest with you, from what I've seen from them so far. They tear the house down. And then the Lucha Bros. These guys are – I've seen them live. Yeah, I met Phoenix and Pentagon too, and man, I'm telling you, when I saw them live, I was blown away by them at a smaller show a few months back, before they signed. They were already signed with AEW, but they hadn't gone over there, and they tore the house down in singles competition. And then you see them out there as a tag team. I hadn't seen much of them before because I don't watch much AAA and the Mexico stuff. Right. And I didn't get a lot of, they were on Impact too, weren't they?
Yep.
Or LW or both.
Or one of the two, yeah.
Yeah, they were on both of them, actually, I think, for a good while. They're the best in the world too. Like, they're they're just light years above everybody. These guys are fucking tremendous, man. And these two, when you put them together, this should have been your final match instead of them versus that stinking SCU, but
Yeah,
God,
no, I agree.
these guys, man. I mean, I could just say it over and over. The things that both teams can do in the ring is tremendous. And the moveset that the Lucha Bros do as well is insane. I've never seen some of the moves that they do in the movesets.
I haven't either. Yeah.
What about Phoenix and how he bounces off the ropes and he doesn't just do it one time. He'll be on the top rope, bounce off one rope to the top rope, to the side of the rope, to a backflip, and he makes it look so effortless. And you're just like, holy shit, how can anybody do that? And then you got Mark Quinn, the guy with the blonde hair on Private Party. Yeah. He's just another one. The stuff that he can do. His partner, Isaiah Cassidy?
Isaiah Cassidy, yep.
Yeah, and he's great too.
Yeah,
oh God, awesome
this
stuff.
This match was probably one of my favorite matches the entire year, honestly, and that's saying a lot. I've been really hard on AEW.
I might go back and watch it tonight just talking about it.
No, I agree. It was a fantastic match. I mean, I liked it even more than the main event, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But I would have put this as my tournament final match for sure. I think it would have been a hotter match for the titles. I hope they do more together in the future because I would really enjoy a program between these guys. SCU does nothing for me to turn the needle. I'm a big Kazarian fan, trust me. I like Frankie a lot. I think he's better than Daniels. I think Daniels is overhyped and always has been, and he has been. But no, man, I'm God. And you want to talk about the fucking Dark Order? Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Can
you imagine, though, Rob, if you did a 4-person match like they did? I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago before they started showcasing them. Imagine if you put a match together like they did at the last pay-per-view where they had the Lucha Bros versus Phoenix and Pentagon there in the Young Bucks in that ladder match.
Yeah.
Imagine a ladder match like they did back in the day with like Edge and all those amazing guys where they did the TLC matches. Yep. Imagine Private Party in there. And this is all feasible stuff due to who they have on their contract. Private Party, the Lucha Bros, the Young Bucks, and then you sprinkle in, Jack Evans even in that guy. They could get out there. Yep. I know I'm missing another really great tag team. It's Jungle Boy, in there. I mean,
Jungle Boy and
Luchasaurus. Yeah, I know I'm missing another, team in there, but that's because their tag division is so damn good. And imagine a ladder match with like Private Party, the Young Bucks, even throw SCU in there too. I mean, Scorpio Sky with what he can do.
No, he's good. Yeah.
God, they would kill that. I think they could make a better match than Edge and those guys did back in the day, and that's pretty hard to say.
That is pretty hard to say, but no,
it's a bold statement.
You're not out of the scope there. I mean, that's not a reach. I think they could put on a ridiculous match. You'll talk about for years.
Yeah, it'll happen soon.
So we get a video package about Wardlow.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So our next match.
Yep.
I know you guys fucking shit on them for not having enough videos and not bringing character. Well, bring up somebody I fucking heard about. Right? Who the fuck is this guy?
This isn't the first time they've done it too. They did it at the last pay-per-view, Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So they did it there. Was it All Out? Was the last one? Sorry, whatever the fuck it was.
I don't fucking know. All Out. I think it was.
Yeah, they brought it out once before, and then this is for the great videos they do. It wasn't the video quality was bad. I'm not saying that, but it was for all the great shit that they do, and then you put this fucking dipshit gimmick out there with this guy. I'm like, he looked like that idiot that won Tough Enough there. The fucking guy that would do the Wookiee thing on the last Tough Enough that got fired.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
Big
that
Josh,
idiot. Big Josh or whatever. So he looks like that guy, man. That's in a little bit better shape and probably doesn't do the Wookiee cackle, man. I'm like, great, we got Wardlow coming.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so pumped up for that. One thing I'm not pumped up for with this next match. It's the last tournament semifinal match. SCU, Scorpio Sky, and Frankie Kazarian taking on the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. Stu Grayson to me looks like Oni Lorcan. Like he's a poor man, poor man's Oni Lorcan from NXT. In Dark Order, I mean Evil Uno, you know exactly who he is. We won't say it, even though we've said it in the past. You guys know who he is.
Go back to the archives if you want to know.
Yeah, go back to the archives if you want to find out. But The match wasn't bad. Like I said, I'm a Kazarian fan. I thought him and Sky looked really good in this match, but dude, the Dark Order does nothing for me. And we've been talking about them for months now. Like, they've been featured on like the pre-shows and stuff like that for their pay-per-views. There's a reason for that. It's because they're just not good. And to put them this deep into the tag team tournament kind of boggles my mind the way they booked that. But dude, these guys suck. I'm not gonna say the match was horrible. It was okay. There was some pretty decent spots. Or another match where I saw some high spots I've never ever seen before. But SCU does get the win, which they should have gotten the win. But to me, the match was okay. I didn't hate it, but it was just all right.
All right, so you made the analogy for Oney Larkin. Here's my analogy for Stu Grayson. I was thinking about this last night when I was watching it too. He's a smaller and less in shape version that doesn't have hair and everything else of Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
he needs a Kanga hat on, man, and to go be rocking it out to some ska instead of coming out with that fat tub of shit. Evil Uno there with all the creeps that he brings out. This gimmick is a channel changer for me, because if I wanted to watch BDSM gay porn, I would go search it out. All right, because that is what they're going off of. That these people like gimps, and I'm like, where in your right mind do you think that this is going to sell anything for you? A big fat tub?
Like all these weird like masked dudes like dancing around them to start the match. Like,
it's bizarre, man. It's bizarre. It's like watching a gay BDSM porn.
That's a good analogy.
It's not.
It came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be in a derogatory way at all.
No. I totally get it. The way you said, like,
it's just the look of it.
People made the argument for Demolition could have been part of BDSM.
Oh yeah, I mean, but they're way more imposing and better looking than this shit, man. I'm like, they're
safe to wrestle.
God.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about a fucking channel changer and a deflator of the mood? You just bring Evil Uno and Sami Zayn Jr. on there, man, because that's about what it is. They do some unique moves here and there, and for a lard ass man there, Evil Uno can do some interesting stuff for a big guy. But what I just don't understand what they potentially see in this stupid fucking gimmick and why they would push them this far in. It was a waste of time. These guys shouldn't even be on there. It's the worst gimmick I've ever seen for a tag team in a long time. I'll just say that. I'm probably missing something out, like the Pirate Hookers, but this is just, man, come on, please. And then you got some good spots that just get over. It was just flat, like, to me, and it had some.
No, I mean, there were some good spots. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of action, but yeah.
There's one thing about SCU, Rob. Do you know how old Scorpio Sky is?
No. 28, 29.
So for everybody that's on the Scorpio Sky train, and I think he's fantastic. I'm not telling you not to be, but what I'm saying is when everybody keeps saying that he's like the future over there, Scorpio Sky is 36 going on 37 years old soon.
Oh, he looks great for 36.
He looks fantastic. All three of them do, man. They look great.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's on a time limit here, man, in regards to age with wrestling and how they view him. So I wish they would get him out of this SCU gimmick, because there's so much potential for him and his shelf life in regards to wrestling and career. Not saying, he's going to retire anytime soon or has to or won't be good, but it's when your shelf life starts going down a little bit. So if they want to pull the gun on this guy, if I was them, I would take him out of that gimmick, man, really in the next few months and get him on his own and let him get some steam, because it's now or never with him, because he's getting up there.
Yeah, no, I agree. He'd be great on his own, and obviously Daniels and Kazarian have been together for fucking ever, so it's not going to hurt them by losing him. And it would only help him out now that he got the rub from those guys. I could see him being a star on his own. That's a great thought. Our fearless leader, Cody, is shown arriving to the arena. Thank Jesus he's here to save the day. So can't wait to see what he's got coming up here later on. So this next match for me, I alluded about it earlier during the NXT breakdown. Oh, Christ. Joey Janela versus Kenny Omega. I'm not going to say I'm anti-Kenny Omega. I actually have enjoyed some of his matches. But Joey fucking Janela is Christ, I hate to say it. I all the shit that I gave this kid last week, I'd probably rather see Marco fucking Stunt in the ring than this goddamn goofball. Like, this guy is a absolute fucking overrated channel changer, and I literally fell asleep during this match, and I missed half of the fucking Matt Riddle match because I told you I watched 2 TVs at the same time, so I can cut down on my how many hours I fucking have to watch wrestling because of the show. So I watch NXT and AEW at the same time, and the Riddle match is going on during this one as well. I fucking fell asleep, dude. Like, this was so fucking boring to me. I can't stand Joey Janela. I think his gimmick sucks. I think he sucks as a wrestler. I think he sucks as a human being. And I think he's the worst fucking thing on that AEW roster, even worse than fucking Nyla Rose and Riho. I despise this guy, and this match was a fucking 4-finger sleeper for me. So, what'd you think of this match here with Janela and Kenny Omega?
I don't always agree with Cornette, but Cornette is so right about Joey Janela, man, when he calls him Jelly Janela. And somebody did you see the sign in the crowd that said it?
I did not. No, I didn't see it. I'll go back and see it.
Yeah, for our listeners out there.
I got to go back and see what I missed because I fell asleep. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a sign in there that you'll see in there. It says Jelly Janela there in regards to when he comes out.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Joey Janela is in awful shape, and he's just no look, nothing. It's so hard to even put it into words how poorly I think of what he does in the ring. He's not even that entertaining when he gets a shit kicked out of in a death match, in one of those death matches that he would do. I mean, I don't see why anybody would pay this fucker a dime to come in there.
I'll watch 1,000 Joey Ryan matches before I watch another fucking Joey Janela match. Let's just say that.
Dude, and they just had this match on that AEW Dark, I guess, the week before.
Yeah.
And Omega won. So
why at least Joey Ryan is entertaining, whether you like his dick shit or not. But at least he's fucking entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about Joey fucking Janela. I'm just gonna say it right now.
You know what the wild thing about this match is? The crowd is sitting over there in the middle of it chanting, "This is awesome" to that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if it's like, are you serious? What are we watching the same thing? Maybe
I can't wait to go to Nashville when AEW comes here in 3 weeks because I have to experience the fucking idiocy of these goddamn AEW fans.
I don't get it, man. I mean, Kenny's got.
They cheer everything. They literally cheer everything. No, Kenny Omega is marketable. Like I said, I'm not a Kenny Omega hater. I'm a Joey Janela hater. But this match did nothing for me, even with Omega in it. Like, that's how bad it was.
Yeah, and Kenny's pretty notorious for being able to elicit a really great reaction and a great match out of just about anybody. Whether people like him or not, Kenny Omega can go in the ring. Yeah, well, I don't know what was setting these people off in the crowd to yell, "This is awesome, man." This was a pee break for me.
Everything, we've covered this already. Like, they literally cheer everything, good or bad. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. The fucking sun and rises and sets on this guy. Like,
this was totally a pee break match, and that's exactly what I did. And stepping outside for some bad air, man, because I glanced at it through the window, and I'm like, Jesus.
I want to start smoking again after watching this goddamn match. And
you ain't lying, man. You probably would, man. I'm telling you, because I didn't understand why they have this guy there. Like, he just doesn't resonate anything of any type of star quality, any type of quality whatsoever.
Dude, I got a callback for it. You hit the nail on the head about fucking the 2 horsewomen chicks. I already forgot them. Jessamine Duke and then the other fucking Maria Shafir. You want to talk about how bad they were? I'd watch those girls wrestle fucking Nyla Rose and Riho before I ever watch a goddamn Joey Janela match ever again. Like, anytime he comes on, like, it's funny. Becky Lynch used to be that one for me. Like, every time she'd come on SmackDown, I'd be like, tell my wife, it's an automatic fast forward match. I don't care who she's in the ring with. But I will never watch another fucking Joey Janela match. That's how much I can't stand this guy in the ring.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. There's nothing about him that I like whatsoever.
We were fortunate enough to see a one-winged angel, which I fucking love that finisher. So that was, he doesn't always pull that out, but yeah, I don't know if you know. Johnson told me in the past, no one's ever kicked out of that move. The one-winged angel is probably like the only undefeated move in the entire history of wrestling.
Really?
Yep, no one's ever kicked out of it.
I mean, it's a badass move. I agree. That's crazy though.
Yeah.
You know what's?
If he's
you know
right,
what's,
no one ever kicked out of it before.
Yeah, you know what's funny about Omega, and people don't get this about him. This is where the talent in Kenny Omega comes in, though, because Kenny Omega has a bunch of different finishes that he uses, and he really pulls out several of them that you'll see. You don't see the same thing from him all the time in the ring, and it's one of the things I like about Kenny Omega, and it shows what an actually good wrestler that he is that he that he has so many different ways that he can do well in a match and make it fun. Yeah. And it's a big plus for Kenny Omega. Do I see him as a guy that would ever lead the brand? Not to me, but I think he's very, very good and has a lot of great upside to him though. And he's one of the best in the ring, man. I'll tell you that for sure. No,
you're absolutely right. I cannot argue with that enough. I did forget to mention that during the Dark Order SCU match, the Inner Circle entered the arena and went up the stairs into their luxury box, and we saw them sitting there eating popcorn and shit, like fucking Guevara there eating fucking popcorn and shit. Like, God, that's one guy I don't care. Like, he's on Marco Stunt level for me. Like, I just can't. I don't get it. Like, nothing resonates to me as a big time star like this kid. He's supposed to be the best of all time, or the greatest in the world, or whatever the fuck he calls himself. But watching these fucking four guys up there, man, it was kind of funny because, like, dude, a lot of this reminds me of old school WCW. You can't deny that a lot of the stuff they're doing is rip off from shit we saw on Nitro, like 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
But Jericho's sitting up there with his fucking shirt open, with his fat gut fucking hanging out, and he was rooting on the Dark Order and all that. So I mean, that was kind of fun. But that leads us to our next segment here. Here's my first rant of the night on this show. Cody, Cody Rhodes. We're not allowed to say Rhodes, but Cody comes out to the ring, gets a full-on fucking superstar, godlike fucking entrance for an interview segment, coming up from the middle of the stage. Like, we know everybody else comes out of the tunnels. He's too good for the fucking tunnels. That's for the fucking peons. He's got to come up through the fucking middle of the stage where they raise this fucking pillar, and he comes out of it and has 70,000 pounds of fucking pyro going off. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, for an interview segment, Cody Rhodes gets fucking God treatment. You can pretty much tell what my ugly is going to be for the end of the show, but dude, come on, man. Like, why are we sucking his dick so hard? Like, I know he's one of the owners of the company, but the Bucks don't do that shit. Fucking Omega doesn't do that shit. Like, why does Cody? If I was the Bucks and Kenny and SCU, I'd be like, the fuck, man? Why are you trying to put yourself over on us all the time with your goddamn fucking $1 million entrance? Like,
well,
dude,
the Bucks get a pretty elaborate entrance though, too. To be honest with you,
with the fucking little Bucks money flying out like confetti or whatever. But like, nothing like, not even close to what Cody gets, man. Come on, stop fucking jerking yourself off in front of all of us, man. We know you're fucking Cody Rhodes. You don't have to keep fucking rubbing it in our face every week.
Yeah, I mean, he's a second generation fucking Dusty booking for himself, and Brad had a good Shepard had a good perspective on it on a show that came out today, man. He was talking about the thing, and I was like, go listen to his show, the You Didn't Know podcast, or You Didn't Know wrestling show, and he was very spot on about Cody Rhodes and what he does for himself, and a lot of people are like, they mentioned a very good point about having the next face of the company, somebody that's going to hold on to it for a good long time. We all know it's not going to be Jericho because he's up in age.
It should be MJF. It should be fucking MJF, not goddamn Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and that's what they were really getting on about that. It's not. We all knew from the start Chris Jericho was name appeal to grab it. He's not the guy. He's getting older.
That's obvious.
He's at the end of his career. I know he's got a few years left there, but he's not the guy that you're going to keep long term in. They think that Cody's, and this is the way they're pushing it, and that's exactly how he mentioned it, is like, Cody's being booked as this guy that's the next face of the company that's going to lead the charge for it, and it just doesn't fit. And it just doesn't make sense.
It's not believable. He has never been a big star. He doesn't draw money.
And he's never going to.
He'll draw with this little niche audience. But you put him back in WWE. Let's say you put him back in WWE after this, and I don't know. We'll say 10 years, all right? Just as a long shot, right? He goes back to WWE, has one more good run, maybe goes in the Hall of Fame. Do you really think Vince, or I don't know if Vince will be alive at that point, but do you think anybody that's running WWE right now or in 10 years from now would give Cody Rhodes the same fucking treatment that he gives himself?
Never. Not in a million years. And
I don't care how many times he'd win the AEW World Championship and how many millions of dollars he spends on his fucking entrance for the next 10 years. They're never going to put him over on that level. Ever, never. He's not on a CM Punk level. And CM Punk never even got that kind of treatment, dude.
You know what I'm sick of him doing, too? And this was in the promo when Jericho and them hopped in.
Besides everything?
Yeah, his promos suck. Like, just personally, his promos suck. I liked this segment. I thought it was very fun and entertaining. I thought it was a good segment for the most part, even though I don't like his mic skills or what he does for himself.
We're gonna play the whole Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Why doesn't everybody go hear it there? And I'll tell you something I noticed about Cody in there.
Let's play the audio from this segment. Cody coming down the ring with Tony Schiavone for an interview and gets interrupted by the Inner Circle.
All right, we are back on TNT, and we are live in Pittsburgh here tonight. As the world knows, Full Gear is coming up in Baltimore on the 9th of November. The American Nightmare Cody will go after the World Heavyweight Champion and Chris Jericho. I want to talk about that, but I know you also, from talking with you, Cody, have a major announcement as well.
I've had the opportunity. I have had the privilege.
We're trying to do an interview here, okay? We're trying to do an interview. Go ahead, I'm sorry. How are you?
I have had the opportunity. I've had the privilege to grow up in front of all of you. And it's apropos that I get to make this announcement here, to make this announcement now.
Boo!
I got it. Boo! Hey, Chris. I know you purchased your tickets and that's all fine and good, but this isn't like the other wrestling company we came from. This isn't an invisible wall right here. I could easily step through. And I could easily come up there and we can fight right here and right now.
Hey, Pittsburgh, shut your mouth. Now listen, Cody, I know you got a lot of bravado. I know you're a very smart man, so don't do something stupid, all right? You stand in that ring where you belong, where it's safe, because I know you're not going to come up here because you're a coward. Oh, yeah. You're nothing more than an entitled millennial little bitch, yeah?
Cody facing uneven odds here. You think he's going to do...
Oh, you're going to come up here, Cody? This is the Inner Circle, boy! It's 4-1! You stand there, do nothing, and like it!
The fifth member of the Inner Circle,
Yeah,
Jake Hager.
get the hell out of my arena!
Not here
Get
this
the hell
week.
out of here before I kick your ass. Go!
Yeah. Undefeated, preparing
Go.
for his fight this weekend.
Get up, boy!
Maybe Silver Heads will prevail here. There's Cody's brother, his big brother, Dustin.
Okay, so your big brother gonna come save you, Cody, won't he? It's still 4-2, baby! Stay there and be the cowardly roses that you've always been. loyalty wasn't questioned, but he proved himself to be a steadfast friend of Cody. It's MJF. Max is
All right. So now we're going to be scared of someone wearing a scarf? Huh? Oh. Who wears a scarf? It's still 4-3. Take your chance and get the hell out of here, man. Go! It's me. It's Steve.
The family friend of the roads, coming down the page. Hall of Famer. He was doing a little DDPY in the back to limber up. Jericho's mood has changed. Quartet here, the quartet there.
You're not coming up here.
They're hopping the rail.
You're not coming up. Yeah, this is your last chance. Don't you come up here. Don't you take one more step. Don't you take one more.
Team Cody and the Inner Circle are about to square off in the stands here in Pittsburgh. And look at Jericho's Inner Circle retreating. Maybe discretion. Oh, look at this. They've locked themselves in the luxury box. You gotta be kidding. Oh! Oh! What is it? Punching the glass, and Matt is on now. Fuck is on now. Rhodes and Jericho. Rhodes and Jericho. The challenger. The champion. Oh! That trap man over the head. Jericho actually grabbed a crutch from somebody. Oh, look at this. Security descending on this chaotic situation. The Peterson Event Center staff trying to restrain champion and challenger. My God, they're going to destroy the Dippin' Dots. Just pandemonium here. Up on the mezzanine level. And folks, if you're out there, take cover. You hear some of those monitors, you see. And Sammy Guevara and MJF still squaring off while Cody. And look at this, Dustin now being restrained by the staff. Jericho said, we've got tickets. We're ticket holders. We've got tickets. You see what happens when you mess with the Inner Circle? Oh. The Inner Circle. What now? I've just gotten a little taste of revenge. Look at Jericho's face. He's
Good. Get back to what you're saying, and I'll give you my thoughts on this whole thing after I've heard what you had to say.
So you get into the whole thing where he's going at it with Jericho, and then he can't help himself to sit over there at every opportunity that he gets is to shit on the WWE and something that they do or make fun of them or put their thing out there.
Yep.
You know,
Jimmy Cordero said the same thing. Yep.
God, it's fucking makes him look like a scorned lover, and it makes him look pathetic, like when he does that. And I know that some of the people in there are going crazy when he does, oh, you said about the WWE. It makes him look so friggin' low quality compared to them. They're not fucking dogging on him. And he's
called punching up, man. He's fucking punching up, and like us, we never fucking punch down. So he's punching up, man. He's
over and over. About every little thing. And this one was one nobody would have even picked up on because it was such a piss poor, knock on them. Oh, this isn't like some other company. There's no imaginary line.
Like he's talking about Ring of Honor or Impact, right?
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. I'm like, fucking A, dude. I was like, at least if you're going to burn them, do a good one. Like that was just stupid, man. And I'm like, everybody knew he was talking about it. It's just dumb. It makes him look like just like a scorn lover with the whole thing. And it's just silly.
But Jericho was great. Like
Jericho was fantastic.
I took Jericho to task for his promo a few weeks ago, and I admittedly went back and listened to that again, and I thought it was a lot better. But this, dude, the line of the night and the line of the last few weeks, honestly, what popped me the most. I think you know what it is, but he had one line about MJF that popped the fucking shit out of me.
The scarf.
He goes, "The scarf." Yeah, I fucking love that shit. Like, I can't listen to anybody that wears a fucking scarf. Yeah. Like who wears what kind of guy wears a scarf? And I'm like, that is the brilliance of Chris Jericho. That is the absolute.
That's how you do it.
Yes, what a great fucking callback from himself wearing fucking scarves in WWE. Like that is, and they have a little rivalry back and forth between the two about who wore scarves first and all that. So from his show.
I pointed it out right away to Miller when we were watching it, and I said, did you get that dig that he did? And he's like, oh, shit. I put him on the spot really fast. I said, that's the Jericho scarf gimmick from the WWE he would wear around there.
Yep.
I said, here's this guy's making fun of himself in there and getting it over in the old way. It was great, man. It was really funny shit with the whole thing. I loved it. It was great.
You know what I really like to see, and this obviously will never, ever happen. Like, I almost wish Jericho was in shape. It's still in the WWE. I would love to see a program between Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, and Chris Jericho. You want to talk about the psychology that those two could have with each other. Like, Seth Rollins is not the fucking guy to be going verbally back and forth or, with Bray. Jericho, dude, say what you want about the way he looks and all that and the way I don't know if he, doesn't take this shit seriously anymore, but if you take Jericho from 2004 against fucking Bray Wyatt right now, dude, goosebumps just thinking about it right now. Like, those two would have a fucking ridiculously great program.
You know what the money feud really is over there that they're not seeing out of this angle, and it's not Cody and Jericho, man. It's Jericho versus MJF.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to find few people as good on a mic as those two.
That's
and
right.
Even though he does all the crazy heel stuff and he's a great heel, he gets cheered like crazy because he's so damn good at what he does for MJF. Like, he's just so good. Yeah. Like, putting the belt on Cody and having MJF turn is lazy, cheap booking because it looks, it's bound to happen. It's what we all see.
You can see it a mile away. Like, it's already, it's been telegraphed already. So
the best way to do it is to sit over there if you really want to turn this motherfucker heel, is let Cody lose the match cleanly at the Full Gear pay-per-view to Jericho, and then have them do something to him or some way that we can set up that the next title shot goes to MJF. He's the babyface going in because he's getting that reaction. He's still playing the heel character up.
Sticking up for his best friend Cody that couldn't get it done. Yeah.
Yep. Wins the belt, and then
injure Cody in that match. Like, for some bullshit, because obviously the rules don't fucking matter, and the referee could get knocked out or whatever, take a bump, and somebody runs in like from the inner circle and just fucking cripples Cody, right? So then to defend his honor or whatever, like he's out for a few months or whatever. Then you get MJF in the program defending his best buddy's honor. That's how you could pull that off.
Yeah, and it's like there's a little different, but it's like you do it with him, have Cody lose, however you're going to have him lose, whether it's clean or not, find a way to work, like you said, work MJF into a program with Jericho. He's going to get this heel reaction. He's going to earn his face reaction. He's still going to act like a heel like he does because he can get it over either way. And they're going to be cheering him. He's going to be the beloved guy. He's going to get the next shot at the crack at the belt. He beats Jericho, man, gets the belt. And then Cody comes out to celebrate with them afterwards. And what do, man? Cody does the fucking turn on him. And dude, there you go.
Cody should be a heel. Like, the way he acts and puts himself over, he should be a fucking heel. He's a smarmy asshole.
Yeah, and MJF, no matter how you do this, how they're going to do his persona, because it's what works. He can go back to being a heel anytime he wants.
You can still be cocky at like him and be a face. Like, he could easily pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's just to me like the money booking out of the whole thing.
No, that's good stuff.
And sit over there like we were talking about. There's so many different ways you could do it. And then you got this guy out there, that everybody thought was going to be the one turning on Cody. And the other way around is that Cody was the one that turns on him. And then you just start this big, long feud. And Cody's explanation is, this fucking guy didn't think I was seeing how he's treating other people. You think I'd really fucking trust this guy? He's a piece of shit. Like, they're all you in the crowd here. He's like, just buries the shit out of him, man. You just made Cody into probably the most monster heel that they got there, even more than Jericho at that point or MJF. You could run with it all day, man. And it would set up a great storyline and booking for them.
Yep, absolutely, man. I love that. That's something I'd be looking forward to seeing. What did you think of him breaking the window with his fucking grabs MJF's scarf and wraps it around his hand and breaks the window?
I thought it was fucking awesome. I love them coming in. What did you think of, because we didn't break down who came out with them other than MJF.
Oh, yeah, Dustin Rhodes was the first one to come out, his brother. Yep. And then it was MJF, which the crowd obviously popped for because, fuck, he's not even on TV every week. And then DDP. Like, as soon as we heard, it's me, I was like, oh, shit, DDP's here. And holy fuck, does he look fantastic for 60, I think it'd be 63 next year.
Yeah.
Fucking looks like he could still go today. Like, he looks fantastic. I love Dallas. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Dude, he looks fucking great. I popped when he came out. Yeah, really. I thought that was really cool. And the crowd popped for him, too, so.
And I think he's going to get in a ring with them. I think they're going to do some type of match with these guys.
Very well good, man. I know, like, he looks great, but, I mean, he still has a 63, 64-year-old wrestler body. You know, deep down, his joints hurt, man. So, I mean, but he'll be ice. You know, he'll have the ice packs on his fucking knees and his ankles, and all like he did back in the day. And he'll get ready for the match. I think he can take limited bumps and still get over in a match.
Yeah, he needs to be showcased in a match where he is in a tag or something like that, because he's you know, he's 63 years old, like you said. He's not going to be able to go like that. He hasn't been actively in the ring.
Oh, he looks like he could. Holy fuck, man.
He looks like he could. Yeah,
like he's in the best shape of his entire life. Like, you know, eating wise and workout wise with DDP yoga and all that. So.
It was a great swerve, though, with to pull him out. Nobody would have ever seen that. I mean, always walked him out, and they've, you know, talked about the relationship. I mean, the common sense to it that it was going to be Hangman Page is what I thought. And then, I know. And then they pulled the thing with DDP, and I thought that was great, man. I really liked it.
I can see an 8-man tag, you know, featuring these guys maybe one of these weeks.
Yeah,
that'd be
cool.
I
mean, you want to spark a rating, man? Put DDP in a match. He doesn't do that ever. You know, there's going to get some people over. There's no doubt. It's going to – I hope they pay it off with something like that for one of the shows or later on down the road. Or I mean, they had a great brawl, too. I thought it was really funny, fun to brawl, watching them go at it. The scarf to punch through the glass, them all just doing it. I thought it was a really, really good segment.
Fighting out in the concession stand and the Dippin' Dots stand and all that. Like, and then Jericho to pull the
stuck his head in the Dippin' Dots, man. Was the great part.
Great.
Yeah. And like you said, the ticket at the end. I bought a ticket.
I bought a ticket. Arrest him. He attacked a fan. Oh, that's so good. And then licks the ticket, sticks it to his forehead like Nash and Hall did when they first when they did that back in. That's why I thought that was a direct Nitro thing of them showing up in the crowd saying we got tickets and all that. Like,
young wrestlers, if you want to watch on how to be a heel and you make it good, you need to go watch Chris Jericho. I mean,
absolutely.
That's.
You're right. Say what you want about his in-ring work lately and the way he looks, but no, he's still got it. Like, he's still mentally got it.
Go fucking watch people if you want to. The young wrestlers want to learn how to do and be a heel. You got to watch him, man. And he plays the best chicken shit heel, and he did it just by doing it at the end there with the ticket thing, man. It was just, dude, I popped hardcore. I bought a ticket.
Yeah, you texted me and you're like, this. You're like, this is fantastic. I said, this is definitely my best, my favorite part of anything they've done so far. It was very well done. What wasn't very well done was our next match. The Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, with Orange Cassidy. So good to see him walk down the ring with them and go just sit down in the seat. Taking on the Young Bucks from the Elite, Matt and Nick Jackson. I won't shit on the in-ring work. I won't. I won't. Like, we know how good the Bucks are, and the Best Friends are not bad wrestlers. They fit the AEW style. They're high flying, stuff like that. But fucking at one point, Orange Cassidy ran up to the top rope, and just threw his body off on these guys. Like, it wasn't a high cross body. It wasn't like a plancha or anything. Like, it was like a trust fall, kind of. Or like he just put his arm, almost like a coffin drop. He just kind of put his arms up to his side, and then just literally fell on these guys. It was, and the crowd popped for it because they love him, which is fine. I mean, if that's what you like, that's cool. But and the other thing I take exception to during the match was the ring gets cleared out. The Best Friends are at opposite corners. and they run up and hug, and the crowd pops for it like CM Punk just won the title from fucking John Cena at Money in the Bank. Really? How is this over? Maybe this shit just passed me by. Maybe I'm too old and I don't fucking understand it. Or like they walked up and hugged, and people were like losing their minds about how fucking great that was. Like,
dude, I just can't defend parts of these things. Like right here,
they're indie darlings. Like you said, you love using that word. They're internet indie darlings. That's what they are, and I'm not hip to it, I guess.
No, it's not. It's not just that, man. It's like, what do you see in this gimmick with Orange Cassidy? For one, I just got to say, it's fucking dumb. And I'm like,
it's dull to me. Yeah.
Somebody they were on Twitter last night, fucking bagging on people. Were going back and forth about Orange Cassidy. I saw that, and then a lot of people fucking shit on it, and then you got your people that like it and stuff. You know who is one of it? You know who Orange Cassidy is one of his favorite wrestlers, from what I was told. Do you know who? You know who who one of his favorite wrestlers is? Orange Cassidy. Take one guess.
Yeah. One guess. Raven. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. One of the most deplorable human beings in the face of this earth there, man. That's Matt Coon's boy, man. He thinks this guy's got like a fucking it factor, future champion. Like he thinks he's the greatest thing since Sami Zayn, man, because Sami Zayn's his favorite. People were fucking dogging on it, man. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, this guy thinks Orange Cassidy is a fucking star. I'm like, what are you gonna do? I mean, he looks like fucking Heath Slater 1.2, man.
He does look like Heath Slater. Yeah.
Shitty version of Heath Slater, and I'm like, seriously, I mean, it's like Heath Slater's long lost love child there.
Right. Yeah.
Seriously,
like
it looks
his fucking third cousin from fucking Oklahoma or whatever.
Yeah. All I think of when I see him is I was like, this guy's he walks out with that fucking Tom Cruise aviator glasses. He's got the dumbest gimmick looking like clothes that he wears. He looks like a millennial fucktard when he comes out in a millennial fucking fucktard skinny jean gear. Yeah. And then he does that stuff, doesn't touch him, and it's like, this is why Jim Cornette goes Luke fucking or batshit crazy on some of the stuff with them when you see crap like this, because it makes no sense, and it just makes them look like they're just cheesy, matches that don't, that there's nothing to it. Do you really think Orange Cassidy's gonna hop in there and go beat a fucking gargantuan giant or a champ? Yeah, come on, this guy sucks, man. Get it out of here. And the best friends is even worse. You got Doughboy and Beretta there hugging in the ring.
Yeah, it's the greatest fucking thing that anybody's ever seen. Like,
yeah.
The Young Bucks get the win with the more bang for your buck, so thank God they won the match. After the match, Matt Jackson grabbed the microphone to say that the Young Bucks accept the challenge of Santana and Ortiz for AEW Full Gear. So that will be a feature match, no doubt. We then get a video package of Dr. Britt Baker, your favorite women's wrestler on the planet. Good video, actually. No, I can't say anything bad about it. Like, it was well produced. All their videos are great. And at least, they highlighted somebody that they're trying to make a star. She tells everybody that she is from Pittsburgh. She's back in her hometown, and she's excited to be here this week. And apparently they're calling it Britsburg. I get it. Pittsburgh, Brit. You get it? Britsburg. So
it was wonderful.
Yeah. So people even had Britsburg signs. So I can't believe those weren't fucking plants that they just handed out to somebody when they came in. But Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, sorry, DDS, taking on. I can't even say it with a straight face.
Can I take this one?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Britt Baker from Britsburg is taking on Jamie Hayter.
How do you spell that?
Hatter.
That's Hayter.
Oh, sorry, did I miss that on there? I thought it was double T's in there.
Hayter. Jamie. I can't say it. Jamie Hayter. I mean, hey, that could be her given name. We don't know. I mean, we'll have to do some research. We have a crack staff here at RTW that can look that up here, and we'll report back on it next week. But Jamie Hayter. What is Jamie Hayter? Who does she remind you of? Like, if she was a cross between two women, what would you say? I like doing this game. What would you call her? And I'll give you my opinion.
If you know Jessica Havoc from, I think she's back in Impact now. She's got a unique look like Jessica Havoc. She's also a chubby version of Paige looking too.
That's exactly right. I was gonna say a chubby Paige and somebody else.
Yeah, she looks like a chubby Paige, like just a really bad ripoff, chubby version of Paige. And when I saw them like doing it with her, I'm like, first off, who the fuck is this?
Yeah,
and
I haven't seen her yet.
Second off is you're really naming her Jamie Hayter? And I'm like, you couldn't come up with something better than that. I'm like, for fuck's sake, man.
I can't say it without laughing.
If she did the crybaby thing one more time to the crowd and during the match.
Right. Did she pander or what, dude? Like, holy
God. That was all she could do because she didn't know how else to pander because she sucks. She's sitting over there doing that boohoo cry thing with her hands. I think I sent you a message in there and said something like, I said, if she does this shit one more time, I'm going to fucking off myself.
She did.
Something like that.
She did, yeah.
Oh,
she did the whole crybaby thing and like the whole putting your hand up to her ear like, what? Come on, what do you got? And she, I'm not going to say she's a bad wrestler. She's still better than Britt Baker. Britt Baker is fucking horrible. Like, again, you think Shafir and Duke are bad. Britt Baker is on that level of being a horrible in-ring worker. She is gorgeous, like 100% knockout. I am deathly afraid of the dentist. That's one of my big fears. I'd still go if she was my dentist. I'd be there weekly just to get a fucking cleaning from her. So just gonna throw that out there. She is one gorgeous woman. But she is absolutely dreadful. She is a drizzling fucking shits when it comes to in-ring work. She's just not good at all. My wife was watching too, and she's like, this is who they're trying to make a star? I'm like, well, I mean, she's a gorgeous woman. Vince would love her. But then he'd see her work, and that'd be it right there. He wouldn't even put her in the ring. But she seems to be who they're going to feature as the lead this division, But that's not saying a lot, man.
Every match that she's in is a fucking abortion, man. I've never seen her in a good match.
I really haven't. I'm not just saying that to shit on her. Like, she's not good.
We talked about it last week, but her finisher, the shitty Rings of Saturn move that they do.
And then sticks her fingers in the mouth like a mandible claw kind of thing. Like,
if somebody's sticking their fingers in your mouth like that and your body is getting contorted and they're trying to hurt you, let's take it from logic here, and they stick their fingers in your mouth, what are you going to do?
I'm assuming, I know where you're going with that. Like, I said the same thing. Bite her fucking fingers off.
Bite her fucking fingers.
But I'm guessing it's so paralyzing that you can't, like, it's called lockjaw. Like, you can't, like, because she's a dentist, she knows how the mouth works. Apparently, it's a nerve hold, like the mandible claw, and you can't do anything about it. So, I mean, you could say the same thing about Mick Foley, but apparently, when you get your fingers under the tongue like that or whatever, like you're paralyzed. So, your mouth is locked up. I don't know. I mean, that's all ridiculous. I should go with. But
I would try to bite
still
down,
that's the best move that she does, honestly, because everything else is just horrible. She almost killed her with a fucking superplex off the top. And I texted you and I said, Excalibur called it a brainbuster because she did it so poorly. She almost fucking killed her. She almost dropped her on her head. It was supposed to be a superplex, and it looked like a fucking brainbuster. It was bad. I would
never allow her to do one move to me, not in a higher place, like just regularly on the ring, let alone to get up on the top of it and have somebody go and fucking suplex me off the top.
And Hayter showed her an experience by not kicking her foot off the post or the fucking cable that attaches the post to the turnbuckle to get some height. Britt had to muscle her over, being underneath her on the second rope. So she's obviously a disadvantage with Hayter being above her and probably having about 80, 90 pounds on her. She could have fucking killed Hayter, and you should not be doing spots like that. That's like the same shit with Riho fucking trying to powerbomb fucking Nyla Rose. Like, come on, man. But Britt Baker won the match, and that's all I got to say about that. After the match, Jen Decker, who was an interviewer for AEW, interviews Hayter directly after the match. And then all of a sudden, Brandy Rose comes out of nowhere, attacks Decker, and then attacks Hayter, and then gives Decker the fucking stink eye, and puts her finger in front of her face like, don't you dare fucking do anything. Like, what the fuck was that all about? Like, number one, I don't remember seeing Hayter on TV, so why would Brandy Rose have heat with her? And then why would Brandy, who's supposed to be a face, because her husband's a face, why would she get up in the interviewer's face and stick her finger in her face like you better not fucking do anything? Like, This booking makes no fucking sense. I don't understand. Like, she's a what? What's her title in the company? COO or Chief Brand Officer?
Chief Brandy Officer is her title.
Yeah, I see that one. What
Chief Brandy Officer.
What was this all about?
I don't know. I think we text each other at the exact same time, and it came through. So we both said that. I was like, what the fuck is this, man?
What the fuck is this about?
I said, why did Brandy attack her, man? Part of it is they got to keep her going, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's because she's not going to be, I guess, coming out with Cody anymore because of the whole thing in the first week, and they decided it was best. They did this gimmick about it. So I guess they got to keep her. She's got to get her TV time. So there you go.
But she's attacking a heel, which is essentially a heel move. But she's supposed to be a babyface. And then she gets in the face of the interviewer. I don't get it. None of it makes sense to me. Like, it's almost like somebody wrote it off the show but didn't tell her about it. They went through it anyway. I don't I don't know. That leads us to our main event. Jon Moxley against Pac. Sorry. Jon Moxley was making his entrance when Pac appeared from behind and hit him with a steel chair. Pac then took Moxley's jacket and choked him with it. Then he grabbed Moxley and throws him in the barricade multiple times. Pac gets in the ring, and Moxley meets him in there to start the match. Pretty hot way to start the match. Obviously, these guys have a lot of heat together with each other. And dude, I mean, the match is hard hitting. The match is good. It's probably one of my favorite Jon Moxley matches I've ever seen. Between him and Dean Ambrose. I really, really enjoyed this match. It was a lot better than what we saw on NXT for their main event. Pac hit this sick 450 splash off the ring apron to the floor. I have never ever seen that before, and that was one of the craziest things I've seen. And he fucking hit it just brilliantly. Rolled Moxley in the ring, tried to hit the Black Arrow, and missed. Moxley went for the pin, got a 2 count. Meanwhile, Justin Roberts, ring announcer, is announcing how much time limit is match, TV time remaining. And eventually this match goes to a time limit draw. And this is my second rant of the night. The crowd shit all over it.
Yeah.
Okay, so AEW wants to give this a more of a sports-like feel, right? I mean, they said wins and losses are going to matter. They obviously show everyone's record on the screen on their nameplate when they come out to the ring. So, we're programmed in AEW lore, at least, to know that every match should count, man. Every match means something because we're keeping track of your score and keeping track of your record, and it's going to determine whether you get title shots or not. We're going to have eventually I want to see them roll out like divisions with records or whatever, or a top 10 for each title, whatever. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So we know who places where based on their record. Like I want to see that eventually, and they haven't done it yet. But so we're already programmed that this is going to be a more realistic MMA-ish, sports kind of feel. And WWE's been criticized at least over the years for not having referees get involved as much and not having time limits. Jim Ross has been a big proponent of that, saying that taking away a time limit takes away one of your finishes. And by putting time limits back in, it gives you that finish like this that you could use, and it adds some intrigue to the match because you know what? Maybe somebody could sneak out a pin before the time limit goes off, and the crowd will uproar over that. But dude, so how can you criticize somebody for saying, "Oh, they need to bring time limits back"? Blah 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 blah. They do that. They give you a time limit draw, and then you shit on it because there's no finish. And then you have Moxley, who's pissed off, saying, "Time limit my ass," 3 times. "Time limit my ass." That's what he kept saying in the ring as they went off the air. That's just, number one, that shit's on your product because they're the ones that fucking reinstated this shit. And number 2, how can you fucking bitch about something you wanted? Like, you wanted time limits back in. They give it to you. They give you a fucking TV time limit draw because obviously they can't go over time limit because of the overrun. They don't have one. And then the crowd boos and shits all over it. These fucking people are unpleasable.
They are. And yeah, I mean, they are. It's just
and WWE fans are the same way. We mentioned this with Brad. We gave the fans everything they wanted by Kofi Kingston winning the title at WrestleMania, by Becky Lynch winning her title, and Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar. They gave everybody everything they wanted, and they still found something to bitch about. They still shit on the fucking product. And this is just, you're right, it's just the way society is nowadays. You guys, cry and complain that, fucking WWE, man, they don't put time limits in. It's so stupid. Why'd they take them out? AEW says, we listen to the fans. We're going to put time limits back in. And then we give you a time limit draw and a hotly contested match, which a time limit draw should want you, wanting for more until next week. I want to see these fucking guys go at it again. But instead, these fucking marks boo and shit all over it to where the fact that, because of the crowd reaction, I'm not looking forward to seeing these guys get in there again. What if they do something similar like that? What if they do a disqualification next time? Like, they ruined the finish of that match, which should have left you wanting more. Instead, they turned me off on it just by their reaction.
Well, it didn't make sense for them to be in this match from the records perspective on where they're trying to build people up right off the bat. This is something, once again, they probably should have saved for way later down the road to make it more marquee thing, in my opinion, because both of these guys are that good. But they give people a great match. It was a really great match, man. They looked really good in there. They had great chemistry. It was
nobody booed when Ric Flair and Sting went to a time limit draw in the first fucking Clash of Champions. Like, they fucking couldn't wait to see them in the ring again.
The time limit draw does them an incentive here, but the people shitting on it, for whatever reason was, the thing that takes away from the incentive of it and will make them think twice against doing it again.
It keeps them strong by not having to finish.
Nobody won, and then you can prolong this down the road because you're not going to get it at Full Gear again because it's Omega versus Mox and Pac versus Hangman, I think is again. So,
it wasn't a fucked finish. Like, it wasn't a run-in. There wasn't disqualification. Yeah. It wasn't a double count-out. Like, double count-outs to me have no place in wrestling nowadays. Yeah. But the time limit draw, if Mox had fucking, just 30 more seconds, he probably would have hit the paradigm shift and won the match. You know what I mean? Like, that should leave you craving more. And instead, the fans fucking shit all over it. And that's my biggest rant of the fucking week. Is that, man? That really pissed me off.
Yeah, and he played it up great at the end there for the thing, but they took away from what he did when he was yelling at the camera, time limit my ass. Yeah. Yeah. The first one, he said the F-bomb, I think, actually, too.
I think he did, yeah. I think you're right.
I think he said it in the first one there. I thought I heard him say, this is fucking bullshit, time limit my ass. Yeah. And then he said, but it was planned, I'm sure, like that, for him to say that, of course.
Yeah,
and
sure.
It took away from, the good thing of his reaction at the end. And it made neither of them look weak. The match was great, so you wanted to see it later on. And this is a big feud you could turn it into down the road when they finish up with their next feuds that both of them have, because they're both in other feuds right now.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
And everybody stayed strong in the process, and they followed the rules. But everybody wants, what they want, and when they get it, they don't want that then. They want something else, and that's just the way. It's insane. Right. You can't please everybody.
No, you really can't. So, all right, John, give me your good, your bad, and your ugly from AEW Dynamite.
Oh, the good was the opening match there with the Lucha Bros and Private Party.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it a lot. It just so darn good, man. If anybody hasn't seen it, you want to go check it out. It's 20 minutes of your time that you'll be glad you watched if you're a wrestling fan. These guys are just fucking tremendous, both of them. It was a tremendous match, great crowd, reaction to it was just awesome. The bad, I got to say for the bad, I'll say with probably Janela, just him coming out there and just doesn't fucking work for me, and it just looks silly. Like, just Janela's the bad to me. The ugly is anything that has to do with their female division. Again, that match that those two had, and then the Brandy Rhodes run in for no reason on Jessica Hayter or Jamie Hayter. I caught myself that time. Old Jamie Hayter there, and nobody fucking understands why. And it's like, okay, thank you. What now? What's next? Nothing. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's my ugly.
I'm going to go a little different route. My good is Chris Jericho. Just old school, like you said, chicken shit heel Chris Jericho. Played it to the fucking hilt, man. Like, he is, character-wise, absolutely on top of his game. So he is my good. My bad is the fucking I already tore down Joe Original. I can't even include him in this because I already made my thoughts known about that. The bad for me is the fucking Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. I just don't get it. To me, it does nothing for me at all. And my ugly is going to be a little bit of a swerve. It's going to be the AEW fans right now. The fact that they fucking cheer everything, even when it sucks, just. They got fucking mom goggles on. Like they can't see what's bad about this product. And while there's a lot of good about AEW right now, there's still a lot of bad and a lot of stuff they need to work on. And just by cheering anything that fucking moves, anybody that comes out there, and then shitting on that finish of the main event, my ugly goes out to the AEW fans this week. So overall impressions of the show. Who do you think overall gets the win for the night?
I'd say overall the better product again was AEW in my opinion there. I mean NXT had some good moments, but it was just more exciting. There was much more positives to it in my opinion than NXT.
I agree 100%. Yeah. As much as I did enjoy NXT, I thought AEW and a lot of it has to I will give them some credit. A lot of that has to do with the crowd because either way, even if they are cheering fucking everything, they're a hot crowd. And everywhere they've gone so far has been a hot crowd. So AEW to me still has a big time feel to it, just presentation wise. But I really enjoyed the opening match. I really enjoyed the Jericho stuff, and I really liked the main event. So I will say AEW was a better show. Let's get into the ratings right here as we wrap it up. One thing I do want to mention: Monday Night Raw was up.
70,000 this week.
70,000 from last week, so that's encouraging for them comparing to last week, which was fucking horrible. Whereas SmackDown still continues to trend downward. They lost about 400,000 people last week. It went from a 2.8 to a 2.4. NXT and USA was 712,000 last week, and this week they're down to 698. So not as big as a drop as in weeks past, which is slightly encouraging if you're Triple H. They lost, my math fucking sucks, 7,000 fans?
14,000.
Sorry, double 7. 14,000 fans, whereas AEW finally dropped under the million mark. Last week was a 1.014 million, and this week was 963,000 viewers for a total loss of
40,000.
40,000 fans. So that's disturbing. And while they can still tout victories, which I'm sure they are, they have to paint it some way. They have won the first 4 weeks. That's very disturbing that they've lost. They went from 1.4 on their debut to under a million at 963. That's got to be kind of alarming if you're TNT. I'm sure they're still happy with it because it probably beats any other show that they would have put in its time slot. But still, to me, I mean, I guess I'd be more upset if I was AEW. We called it, obviously, months ago. Because we're smart and we study trends and analytics and patterns and all that, and you were the first one to mention it. We both agree their base when it's all said and done will probably be like 700,000 to 900,000 roughly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be even lower than that, man. I mean, my original ones, my original ones I thought was going to be about 350 to 5, as if you remember. That's kind of where I saw it as at first. I think the 350 to 5 range.
That's Impact numbers right there. Yeah.
Yeah, Impact would be dying to get 350,000 people, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
they'd be fucking jumping over through fucking fiery hoops, man, and giving free fucking contracts out to everybody with a raise for that.
Which is funny, but when Dixie and Jeff were there, they were getting about 1.1 a week, so they were getting right around $1 million, and that just shows you how much. Say what you want about Dixie Carter and Jeff Jarrett, at least they were bringing people in. Not to say that the product is bad now, but Impact just had a really nasty, taste in their mouths for a long time. But for AEW to drop under $1 million should be kind of alarming to them, even though we kind of saw it coming. And maybe it's just an anomaly. Maybe they'll go back up next week. I mean, it was a pretty hot ending, so it's pretty hot between Cody and Jericho. But
they're going to level out probably. I think you're going to see NXT level out around 600. Maybe 550 that they're going to level out at. And I think for the time being, and this is going to take probably a couple months for them to get there, I think, AEW is maybe going to level out in the 6 to 650 range probably. And that's where I kind of see them leveling out at now, kind of seeing it. Originally thought 350 to 5. I'm thinking about 650-ish is where they're going to level off. I think it's going to take about 3 months to get down to there. But I think it could happen sooner rather than later that it gets to that number. The most alarming thing to this is everybody and their brother sits over there and shreds the WWE because of the SmackDown drop, 1.5 million people, which is a huge drop, of course, that they've lost over 2 weeks. AEW has lost since week 1 almost 600,000 people. Yep. And Bischoff gets whacked for $1 million. And, and I'm sure $1 million and other things that was in there too. But, there had to be a scapegoat for the loss of $1 million on there. And they were already pulling close to a 4.0 rating, and then they dropped down to a 2.9. They had 3.9 to a 2.9. And then they were calling for everybody's head, man, and they fire him a couple days later. Coincidence? I don't think so. Here's that. These guys in a month have lost from, week 1 to now, almost 600,000 people. Yeah. So if you're gonna chop up the WWE for that, who has a much larger audience as it is on SmackDown because they're on Fox, because they're more established, why are you not holding these guys accountable and saying that's insane? They've lost 600,000 fucking people in 1 month time frame. Why aren't you saying the same thing? Nobody's saying it yet. Tonight since it came out, I've seen it all over. Very few people are saying that. I'm like, you're going to call for the head of WWE and they're dead, and whatever. Mm-hmm. It's been terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's been dreadful. And then you're going to sit over there and not even fucking acknowledge that because they're the newest shiny fucking, piece of stuff on the store rack there. Come on, that's bullshit, man. That's an alarming figure to lose 600,000 people nearly.
It is. And then, you look at the initial, even the debut show. You got fucking hillbillies in Arkansas, they're going to get 3 million people. Yeah, on what in what planet? You know what I mean? 1.4.
Somebody thought they were going to get 3 million people?
2 to 3, yeah.
What?
Yeah, no. No, it's, yeah. Yep.
God. That's fucking
Yeah.
whoever fucking said that, man, has to be a really slow individual because there's no fucking way anybody would have ever thought that, man. Raw can't draw 2.5.
Slow as a turtle. I'm just saying. So yeah, man.
Oh,
I'm
picking up.
The fact that they're 9, the fact finally got to it. The fact that they're 963,000 viewers now, and trending downward every single week. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna say light the shit on fire and do something to fucking change things around, but it's not really the TV product that's bad. No. It's a good show. Primarily there's things that we pick apart. There's some really, really bad stuff, but there's a lot of good about AEW and Dynamite.
A lot of great stuff.
But the fact it's just not translating to viewership shows you that they are indeed, like we said they are, and NXT as well, they are a very small niche market. And people have been touting takeovers and all, and trust me, there's never been a bad takeover. I have absolutely loved every single one of them, but even still, as great as they've been, NXT is a fucking niche market. They're not going to ever get to the heights. They could be a third brand all they want. They're never going to reach the heights of Raw or SmackDown. It's just not going to happen. It's a different style of wrestling, and it's produced differently. And while I think it's a better product overall, it doesn't acclimate with some of the older wrestling fans that aren't used to that high flying, high impact kind of fast paced wrestling.
Hold on one second, buddy.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You said you're going to bed? Let me guess. Say it to Rob.
Hey, Rob. Hey.
Sorry, buddy. No, with AEW, it comes across to people like when they listen to shows is that everybody's focusing on the negative because negative gets way more attention and analyzing things than it does for the positive sometimes.
You got Russo, you got Cornette. They're always going to tear it down. They're old school guys. I totally get that.
My point of it is we're not just dogging on it because we don't like it because we're saying we do like a lot of things about the show.
No, we call what we see. We call bullshit on what we see, and we like the things that we like, and we pick on NXT just as much as we picked on AEW. Yeah.
Everybody, when we analyze that, that's what I want to make sure to people they think, so if we have a lot of AEW fans that are out there listening, think we're dogging on it, man, we're putting it over the moon on a lot of things, but we're also focusing on the crap things they're doing like we would on anything, because that's the purpose of a wrestling podcast, is to go over it. There's a lot of positives to it. There's also a lot of negatives and glaring weaknesses.
Right, but this has been my favorite, edition of Dynamite so far, based on everything that I saw. So, I mean, I'm giving them credit this week and putting them over NXT again. So, yeah, man, for as much as as many bad things I say about it, but you listen to some of our people that listen to the show, like Punich and all that, like he pretty much agrees with our assessment of everything, and he's pretty open-minded when it comes to, I would say he's a fan of some of the newer wrestling and all that. So, we haven't had any negative comments about this show, so there aren't any AEW marks that have fucking trashed us for what we have to say. I think we put things well enough and give up enough rationale behind it to where we thought it was good or we thought it was bad, and so far nobody has really disagreed with us. So, you got to give us credit for that at least.
Yeah, and it's like, because we're getting so many new listeners every week now that are coming over and listening from different reasons and stuff. So it's like
they're coming over in droves. Yeah.
Yeah, and we want people to understand that if you're listening to this for the first time, like when we're breaking this shit down, we're just going to give an honest assessment on it, and it doesn't mean we don't like either of them, because we like it way more. We're fans. That's why we do this, and we're very fair critics to everybody. Like, we're not just knocking one to the other. So
yeah, I mean, if you listen to our Raw review this week, I mean, there's some shit that we tore down and took exception with too. So I mean, and same way with Dean and I on SmackDown. So
they're the most exciting shows, these two, every week compared to the other two. The other ones that are out there that we're seeing. And I don't watch Impact, so I can't make a comment on that. I heard they pull out some great stuff and whatever it is, but
they do. And the NWA Power is like the golden child right now. A lot of people, no one has a bad thing to say about that, even though they're only getting about 400,000 views. So,
well, here's something for you that I found out today, and.
What's that?
I don't know if a lot of people know this yet, but I'm sure it'll come out probably later on today or tomorrow. But apparently Tessa Blanchard's contract's coming to an end when we look for females. Now, so apparently it's coming very shortly. And I don't know if it's made the rounds yet, but I'm sure it's going to within the next day or so. So take a check out and read the articles on it and stuff. I just heard some back-ended knowledge on it. Yeah. But apparently her contract's coming up very shortly, and she's not going to be re-signing with them.
No kidding.
Yeah, so that's the rumor in the street. I've heard that. So collaborate the story later on, probably tomorrow, I bet, folks, or later on tonight. But I just found it out earlier today. I'll just say that she's going to be leaving. That's a signing that they need to fight over.
Yeah, I mean, how much money are the McMahons or the Khans going to throw out at her?
They're going to need to throw out a fucking lot, because they didn't sign her to a contract the first time, man. And
so you think she's going to be a little gun shy maybe and just re-sign with NWA?
I don't think so, because she's been around the business her whole life, and
right.
Magnum TA, is her stepdad, and Tully's her real dad, but she grew up with Magnum TA.
And Tully is, under contract with AEW, so.
Yeah, but they don't have a very close relationship from what I understand, from what I've heard. Okay. She looks at Magnum TA as her daughter more than Tully, because Tully's doesn't have the reputation of being the nicest guy in the world, even though he's changed his ways a lot from what people always say in the stories. But it's going to be really interesting to see, man. I'm telling you, if either wants to ramp up their women's division, whether it's NXT, Tessa does not need NXT. I'll tell you that right now.
She doesn't, but I'm pretty sure they'd throw her there.
They will. And and you got Scarlett Bordeaux that's apparently just signed too.
I was going to say, can you imagine Tessa and Scarlett going at it again? So, yeah.
I mean, Scarlett's very underrated in the ring from what people see too. I'm not saying she's at Tessa's level. I'm not even remotely saying that. Her look is so
Tessa is the most over chick in wrestling right now.
She is, and she's wrestling guys. She's not even wrestling girls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I was leery about that stuff at first, man, but she tears the house down. She's one of the best in the world right now. Her and Shayna Baszler, in my opinion, are the two best women's wrestlers in the world right now. And imagine her going after and being the one to take Baszler's title too.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Duh. Yeah, you're right.
So I heard it's coming up in a few months. I don't know exactly when. If I can find out when later, I'll let everybody know. But look out for that news story, because I'm sure it'll break, later Thursday night or sometime Friday morning that her contract's coming up.
Very interesting. We will absolutely keep an eye on that. So.
Yep. Just wanted to throw it out there. We talked about women's wrestling.
No, I appreciate you for doing that. That's something we'll definitely have to keep our eye on. So, Good stuff, man. Where can we find you on social media? What do you got going on coming up here? Anything you want to mention?
Yeah, well, we always got good stuff coming up here, man. And, you can check me out on Twitter at WWR Podcast. Give us a follow over there. And DMs are always open if you want to.
Your DMs are wide open.
Wide open, as Rob can tell you from some of the ones I send him that I get from people. So
you're a heat magnet, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty funny sometimes, man. And even when I get death threats from people, so it's awesome. But I've got a lot of nice ones for the majority of the last few weeks, for the most part. So DMs are always open, and we're always interactive and want to shoot the shit and talk and interact with everybody. And we're just fun fans too, and we have a good time. So go check out their Reality Check Podcast Network on Instagram, and then we're dropping shows on Wrestling with Reality every Monday, which is our motivational show. We had a great message this week about doing what you're meant to do in life, not what you have to do. So got a lot of great feedback from people on it. It's a really good message. I hope you guys enjoy it and go check it out. And I do those every Monday. And then every other Wednesday, we are doing an alternate show over there. We got some cool stuff in the works there for everybody. So it's going to parlay into another completely separate thing. But we do alternate episodes every other Wednesday. We'll put an extra one in there. And then Friday's Tackling Reality. Sunday is our version of our flagship that we do, where we get me, Rob, Dean, sometimes some special guests come on, and we kick back, chop it up, have some fun. It's a really good time, man. We got our great deal over with our friends at Megaphone, which is one of the largest podcasting hosts in the world, and they extend us a great offer. It's not going to change anything for how you guys get our product. It's still going to be out. Nothing's changing. What it means is it's going to distribute us to way more people because of their reach and their team and what they're going to be able to do for us. And it's going to be a lot of fun, which is going to be able to make it so we give you guys even more good stuff, because then, when you're pulling in those extra bucks, man, you can put it right back into your product. And that's what Rob and I will always do on the shows on the network here. So we thank Megaphone a ton for that. And next week we'll announce a couple of new shows that we're going to have coming up in November. So we'll drop that next week.
Now, I'm an old school guy. I'm kind of old. I'm in my 40s. If I wanted to use an antiquated system like email, how could I email you, John?
It is, if you want to go email me, you can just go to Gmail. It is wwrpodcast.com@gmail.com. And my emails are always open too. So I get some nice emails sometimes too. So if you're more sometimes on email, DM on Twitter is the popular measure to communicate all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what the kids do nowadays. But I'm more of email.
No, I'm with you, man. But so I like the antiquated system too. So you can always hit us up on there. And if you guys have business inquiry, sponsorship stuff, you want to get your product over and get it exposed to nearly 6-figure downloads coming up here in a few weeks that we get it. So you could literally be exposed for anybody looking to invest out there, and almost a 6-figure audience every month. So I would definitely say if you got a product you want to put out there, you guys should hit me or Rob up, because we already have 4 great sponsors that are on our networks and happy customers that come by. And if you want to get your stuff out there to almost a 6-figure audience every month, you're more than welcome to come and hit us up, and we can talk pricing. We do group rates and stuff. So definitely hit us up. That's how one of our sponsors came through for us already by listening to the show and doing that. So come on down, guys. Talk. We're anything in life is negotiable for the right things, and we can really help your brands and your businesses too. And email's the best way to do that for me. wwrpodcast.com@gmail.com.
And don't listen to the trolls on fucking Twitter that have no clue about what our business is doing. So just want to throw that out there as well.
Oh my God, I know.
They couldn't be farther from the truth. Megaphone, you can't just grab a microphone and pick a plan and sign up with Megaphone. It was an invite only. So just want to throw that out there. No, we don't pay for our downloads either. I don't even know how I would even pay for a fucking download. But
I'm so sick of hearing that shit, man. Especially with the fucking IBA requirement systems that we go through for analytics. It fucking measures that stuff. That's why social media. I always say it here, man. And I don't want to give these morons the time of day, because that's exactly what they are. And I'm trying to turn the other cheek in life on some of these people. That's what social media, man. And that's a whole other story and a whole other show I'll do one day for one of my motivational things about social media. Is, man, what a pariah of people that come out there and spread lies lies and stupidity and, that are out there, man. It's a sick world out there on social media. A lot of great people too, man. And that's why we always say we usually get more good than bad, but
yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, there's nothing creative about what they say, and they think they have control on us, but they don't. So I'm not going to name any names, but let's just say that it's almost midnight as we're speaking right now, and eventually the jury will be out on these guys. So that's all I'm going to say about it.
I think the jury's already out on some of them, and I know for one, the jury's definitely out, and that person sucks, and their show sucks, and they sound like a love-scorned child, and they are way punching down to even discuss them any further. So,
I mean, if they like people in masks so much, they must be really big fans of the Dark Order as well.
They must be. I think I know I'm getting delirious because it's almost midnight, and I know the jury's out here soon. But I'm telling you, man, if they like mask things so much, maybe they had a starring role or some credits out there in Pulp Fiction, with the Kemp scene. I don't know.
Good call. That's a good call. Yeah.
Might have been. I could definitely see that since they're a night owl and always like to stay up past midnight. So.
Yeah, and they like pop culture, things like that too.
Oh, so yeah. And but let's put it on a nice note, and we love you guys out there and the fans and the listeners. You guys are
absolutely
great.
Yeah.
The trolls, they're always going to be there.
None of that has anything to do with our audience. In fact, our audience keeps on growing. So give us the fucking free press, guys. So we love it here. Yeah,
we love the interaction. We love you guys.
Yep, that's right. So, anyways,
and if you're a troll, keep listening because you're going to. We already know you are.
Oh yeah, they all do. So. Anyways, you can follow me on Twitter at RadRobGaming. Follow my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RadRobGaming. I am a video game streamer, and I also create video game content on YouTube. Just check out RadRobGaming on YouTube. If you want to tweet our show, it's at RadTurtlesPOD. Send us an email at RadTurtlesWrestling@gmail.com. Check out our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/RadTurtlesWrestling. We also have a Twitch channel. We will be going live after every NXT takeover and every WWE pay-per-view. It is twitch.tv/RadTurtlesWrestling. We will have our post-game wrap-up show coming up here. We haven't decided on the day yet, as Crown Jewel is a week from this Thursday as we're taping. I think it's like 12 o'clock Eastern or 1 o'clock Eastern. So I'll be watching it at work. So at some point, John, we're going to have to do a recap show on that. But
it's all right.
It will not be like this one will not be directly after because I'll still be at work. So,
but we'll get it out within a day of it.
Yeah, we will. So, but check us out on Twitch. Leave us a follow there, twitch.tv/RadTurtlesWrestling. And check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store. It's prowrestlingtees.radturtleswrestling. We have 2 shirts on sale with more to come. And anytime you purchase a shirt, we will shout you out on the air for being a loyal follower and repping our brand. So we absolutely appreciate that. So until then, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of the RTW Wednesday Night War. We will be back this weekend, this Saturday, for the flagship with Dean Galloway and I, breaking down SmackDown, all your current news, and giving our predictions for Crown Jewel coming up next week, which we'll bring you in on that one as well, John, if you're available on Saturday to give your predictions. So I'll be looking forward to that. So again, guys, hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on Saturday for the flagship. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you then. Take care, guys. Thanks for listening to this edition of the RTW Wednesday Night War podcast. Once again, you can tweet the show at RadTurtlesPOD or send us an email, radturtleswrestling@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. We appreciate all of your support. You've been listening to the RTW Wednesday Night War podcast, only here on the Reality Check Podcast Network.